Yo, what's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Got my Raiders cup here. Had a chance to sleep on some things, so I want to talk about some stuff. Got some notes written down. Want to talk about pros and cons, what happened in the first round. A lot of us are probably shocked, to say the least, but I definitely wanted to sleep on it. So hopefully all you guys are doing good. Let me give a shout out to everybody in the chat here. 10-day bender. Essentially, you're saying Antonio Pierce doesn't believe anything that Josh McDaniels was doing from an ideology to draft players. That's what we got. Gardner and tight end. Yeah, we'll talk about it, bro. You may not be wrong, but I kind of have a different take, to be honest with you. But we'll kind of explore the different things. And then you said Mayer did not have a spectacular of a season. Now he's coming off an injury, and he'll be even slower. Raider Paul, what's up, man? Raiders. I said O'Connell's not the guy. I feel you, man. I know you're pretty adamant about where you're at on that. I kind of, maybe a little more optimistic on O'Connell. All right, so let's kind of just revisit kind of where we were at last night before we kind of talk about the pros and cons. I want to kind of give my draft review, some different things I'm thinking about. Thought about last night. So pretty much right after the first or second round pick, I went live. Hopefully all you guys are doing good. Hit the like, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Salute. But pretty much like it was the first or second pick got taken in the first round. And, my thing was like, we got to see where Penix Jr. goes, that he was going to be the kind of key element. I worded it differently, but to me, the most intriguing thing was where is Penix Jr. going to go? However, I didn't, and I don't think any of us expected him to go to the Falcons. I think that was like, we were all like, dude, what the heck just happened, So, I don't think anybody anticipated the Falcons picking up Penix Jr. So that was a major curveball. Like, what would have happened? I don't want to do like woulda, coulda, shoulda necessarily, but what would have happened had the Falcons, not got Penix Jr.? Would he have fallen to the Raiders, or would have, the Vikings or the Broncos have gotten Penix Jr.? That's an interesting thing to contemplate. I mean, it doesn't do us any good right now, but I'm just saying, I think how the draft board fell, things like everything was kind of status quo until the Falcons picked. Once the Falcons picked, it threw, I think, a curveball, whether, depending what side of the fence you're on, whether it's good or bad, it threw a wrench in the gears of what most of us were thinking. One of the things I was going to the draft, I didn't talk about it too much, but what, leading up to the draft, calling to the radio show and stuff, to me, or I think I texted this one in, but it was like, what's going to be the first surprise or one of the big surprises, of the draft? I was curious if maybe the Seahawks or the Cowboys might get a quarterback. That would have been like maybe a surprise to me. But, what I didn't expect was the surprise was going to be the Falcons getting Penix Jr. So that kind of threw everything off. So then, so Penix Jr. kind of set the stage. Here, I'll pause real quick, say what's up to everybody. Give me a second, guys. Let me scroll back up. Super Omicron. Here comes the crocodile tears. What's up, man? Hopefully you're doing good, bro. So I'll be optimistic if I have to be at this point, but I don't want him on our field, man. What if Gardner Minshew is the guy? Whoa. The Broncos would have got him. Possibly. That's kind of what I was thinking, bro. Like I said, dude, this is the kind of stuff I was talking about, man. We gotta like, let's really kind of marinate on, when I get really fired up sometimes, guys, and, I call guys clowns and stuff like Mel Kiper Jr. guys, and I'm not saying I'm an expert by any means, but it just makes me mad because some of these guys, like when they have like guys like Jalen Hurts going like in the fourth round and stuff, they're just off their rocker with some of their analysis. And, Hendon Hooker, their analysis on Hendon Hooker, I thought was completely false. So that's what gets me fired up when, like, if there's a guy I like that I think it might be a value pick or something like that, and these guys are completely off kilter. And, Mel Kiper Jr. was saying that Penix Jr. would fall to the second round, guys. His mock drafts right here, dude. I have it on my phone. But essentially, he was talking about maybe the Rams picking up Mel Kiper Jr. was talking about turn the brightness down, was talking about Penix Jr. falling in the second round. And my thing was, I said, and I was consistent on this, you know, and I don't want to be Monday morning quarterback. But what I said is that Penix Jr. isn't going to like, he's not going to be there by the time Raiders pick him, you know. And I know a lot of Raider fans didn't want to hear that, and we're all emotional, myself included, and we, like, a lot of us wanted Penix Jr. But I mean, just to revisit the Penix Jr. thing, not to beat a dead horse, I like the guy. I just don't think he would have been worth what we would have had to trade up. I mean, what, he went 8th overall to the Falcons? So that's nuts, guys. We would have had to trade so much to get a guy that may not be a day one starter and has some injury concerns. It's a big risk to leverage that to move up. You would have to move up before pick 8, you know, and I don't think anybody was thinking that Falcons were going to get him. So, you know, who would have been, you know, willing to wheel and deal with us before pick 8? So I don't know, guys. I guess depending how you look at it, I'm just saying, like, you know, if I revisit the whole scenario and situation, Penix Jr. was like the Tetris piece of the draft, okay, of how things kind of, you know, fell from there. So, all right, let's get in the chat real quick. Thrash, what up, man? Ain't seen you in a minute. Artie Raider said trade for Hendon Hooker. Oh, dude, you know I would. I would, dude. I would trade. I still do. I'm serious, guys. People are gonna call me crazy. I would give up Aiden O'Connell and a 3rd round pick this year. I think that's fair. I don't think the Lions would do it because I think the Lions probably know what they got at this point. But yeah, if we could trade Hendon Hooker or Aiden O'Connell and a 3rd round pick for Hendon Hooker, I think that's worth it. I would do that all day. If people call me crazy, we'll see, man. We'll see if this dude's balling out. And then I'm going to come on here probably yelling pissed off that the Raiders didn't draft Hendon Hooker. But it's all good. I got Denver Broncos fan, and him and his entire family were all about Penix. Oh, okay. I'm talking about the Broncos. They need to fire Mark Davis, dude. What up, Raider Paul? Salute. All right, see what else we got up in here. All right, sorry guys, I'll take care of something there. Yes, trade for Hendon Hooker. 10-day trade O'Connell, Mayer, and Wilson. Dang, dude, you're getting crazy. James Furpo, Raiders. What up? What up? D Menace, dude. Salute, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Who else we got here? Charles Washington, Raider man all day. Salute, man. Much love to all you guys. Appreciate you guys coming in here supporting me, man. I know I've been live in a minute, but you know what, dude? Like, I do have a lot of things I want to talk about, but I also want to include everybody I can, you know. But this is my favorite time of year, guys. Everything else was just speculation, dude. And yeah, I like to speculate. I'll call on the radio show and stuff like that, guys. But like, it's so much gossip and drama and the off season, dude. Like, sometimes it's good to take a break from it all. And like, this is where I think we get more meat and potatoes, right? This is where I think there's a lot better NFL coverage than leading up to this point. So that's why sometimes, you know, I need a mental break, even though I'll listen to the radio station, call in and stuff. But like, I like this part because like now we can like start like really kind of analyzing and I think have some good dialogue. We're like, you know, months leading up, it's all speculation, and I don't think it's good sports coverage, but that's just kind of where I'm at. I'll do it sometimes, but you know, this is where I think things start getting good. So all right, so Super Omicron, shout out to you, bro. Said who want Cooper Dijon or offensive tackle Kinsley Sumit of BYU? I can't pronounce that, bro. I'm sorry. But Michigan, it's a trip. I don't know. Spencer Rattler would be overdraft second. I think so. We're going to talk about it, bro. Just win, baby. Hell yeah. Just kind of want to get caught up on the chat. What do you mean you don't like Mel's take on Jalen Hurts being a tight end? Yeah. No, yeah, that's exactly what they said. They said that Jalen Hurts should be a tight end or running back, bro. It's nuts, dude. Mel Kiper's a fucking clown, bro. I'm for sure buying a Bowers jersey. Nice, bro. What number you think he's going to be? I'll be curious to see what number he wants. I want to get Penix. That made me way too nervous of a pick, at least in first. Or I didn't want to get Penix. Made me way too nervous in at least first 3 rounds. Sorry, my screen's far away, so it's not as hard for me to read all this comments. But so yeah, Raider Rick, what up? New subscriber here. Good show. Appreciate it, man. I'm a fired up Raider fan, dude. Sometimes I lose my cool, but I try to keep my shit legit. Bowers is legit. Jason Downs, salute, man. They were saying Penix would be in the second. I knew he wouldn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. But trading up for Penix, that would have been hard for me. I'm not saying I'm right, guys. I'm not. But trading up for Penix with the injury history, it would have been a tall order, dude. We still would have had to give up a lot just to go from 13 to above 8. If we did find a trade partner, we're probably still talking 2 first rounds, meaning this year and another year, and then some additional stuff like maybe a third round or a third and a fifth or something. We still would have had to give up a lot to move up. So I don't know. Maybe he'll end up being a stud and I'll end up being wrong. But yeah, he said Baller Brocken. He can split out jet sweeps, tight end screens. Haters are officially Brocked. Fire Mark Davis. It's worth $8 billion value to be sold. What? Should be sold for 9. Truth be told, I think he meant should. All right. Yeah, Aunt Six. Salute, brother. He said trade for Hooker from Detroit. Detroit, what? OG Raider, dude. What up, big dog? Yeah, all kinds of guys in here, dude. Much love, guys. MPJ might be 27 when he gets to start for the Falcons. Yeah, that's one of my notes. I haven't finished my notes. I just want to give some love to all you guys, man. Because I don't want to miss anybody. Because then I get rambling and I'll miss people, man. So what I'll do, like, I'll kind of get caught up here and then kind of go over some things, and I'll try to scroll back up in the chat. So if you guys want to comment on stuff, I'll try to my best to go back and forth and whatnot. But Falcons GM might get fired in the middle of the draft. Nice, dude. Shout out to Jason Downs, man. Penix ain't worth first round contract money. Gord Peterson, man, what up, man? Big dog, ain't seen you in a minute. Good to have you in here. OJ Raider said Newton falls to 44. You don't think twice about it. All right. Yeah, we'll get into the second round, guys. Just kind of getting things warmed up here. Who the hell is Mel Kiper? Mel Kiper Jr. Yeah. Pick number 2 gonna also be BPAA. Yep, we'll talk about it, bro. You know, I got some opinions some people might agree with, and then there's some other things I might be a little off from what most people are thinking, but we'll get into it, bro. I agree hardcore. We can't ignore the injuries, whether we like it or not. Penix is simply a liability at this point. Yeah. Until proven otherwise. Yes, I agree. It's high risk and maybe mediocre reward. But Raider Rick said it's not a surprise that Telesco took Bowers, best available. Telesco did same with Chargers when he drafted Keelan Allen. Yeah, Raider Rick. And I'm going to talk about that. But the funny thing is, so if you were in here like yesterday and you go back and rewind it, like I was a little like emotional. I'm like, all right, I got to take a smoke break after the Raiders drafted Brock Bowers. And then I came back, and like one of the first things I said after I came back was the Keelan Allen quote, which is essentially, you know, when, and you guys probably know from the interview from Tom Telesco, but I was smoking a cigarette and I remember that interview, and I didn't go on the internet. I didn't find it from me. I know everybody's quoting it now, but I literally was probably one of the first guys that thought of that. And this, I'll be honest, it's not like an anomaly. Most of us should have thought of it shortly after the draft, before everybody on social media started probably talking about the Keelan Allen quote from Tom Telesco. But essentially Tom was saying he was on the Chargers like second, third round or something, and they didn't need a wide receiver, but they ended up getting Keelan Allen, who was the best wide receiver at that time. And then they had some injuries or some guys didn't work out, and then Keelan Allen ended up working out. So my point is like, if you look at it from that standpoint, yeah, dude, the Keelan Allen quote from Tom Telesco about best player available, it makes sense. But I called it out almost as soon as the draft happened. After my emotions died down, took a little break, came back, and I was like, you know what? And I mentioned the Keelan Allen thing. And I'm not saying I'm anybody special. We should have all remembered that quote before we got on social media, and people on social media were talking about it. But like, yeah, shout out to you, man. I mean, it's a good point though, Raider Rick. So yeah, I think we're on the same page, because I was thinking of that too, bro. So yeah, I'm not chastising anybody. All right, so let's kind of get into a couple things that I had notes about the Penix Jr., and then we'll get into kind of pros and cons of yesterday's pick. So, all right, you know, Penix Jr., as someone, I forget who it was that put it in the chat, but Penix Jr. said will be essentially probably about 27 by the time he starts, which is kind of crazy. So let's analyze this, because now we're at this like weird point in the NFL draft and college players where guys are a lot older now because of the virus, and guys were allowed an extra year in college because of what happened. You know, we're going to have a lot more guys that are going to be older coming into the NFL. So here's my question: is that a good thing or a bad thing? A lot of people think it's a bad thing to have guys coming in the NFL that's like 24, maybe even possibly 25 years old. But a guy like Penix Jr., who's already kind of older, what is he, 24, 25 in that range? And by the time he starts, because the Falcons have Kirk Cousins, he's going to be like 27. I think you could argue both ways. To me, I don't think it's like that much of a downside because I think you're in your prime years, like 26 to 30, I think is like your prime years. So I don't exactly see the quarterbacks coming in this like as a later age as a negative thing. I think there could be a positive thing to it. So my next question would be, because I always try to analyze all these different things. And I thought of this not just because he's going to be older, right? But I think it's something all throughout the NFL and the draft here for the next, 3 or 4 years from now, we're going to look back and how is these older quarterbacks coming out of the draft going to affect the quarterback market 3 or 4 years from now? Because I think it's an important question that we don't think about enough. Is it going to be a positive thing or is it going to be a negative thing? I think there's a lot of positive, like almost more positive stuff that can come from it because now you're going to have more opportunities for guys that get drafted that are older guys that had more experience, and then they're going to get drafted to a team and they don't have all the weight of the world that they have to produce day one, and they have time to develop. So teams like the Packers, where, and I'm not saying this is going to happen with every team's going to be like the Packers and an Aaron Rodgers, but the Packers had a Brett Favre and they got an Aaron Rodgers, sat for a while, came on the scene, blew up, ended up being a super stud quarterback. And now you have potentially the same situation happening with Jordan Love, where he sat a couple years and started, and look at the production. Looks like Jordan Love's probably going to be a really good quarterback. So, and then Patrick Mahomes sat for a year. Some of the best quarterbacks have sat for at least a year, if not like longer. So here's my point. Okay. The older quarterback realm, yeah, it might change things, but in the end, it might actually be a good thing, but we're not going to know until, like, I'd say anywhere from 2 to 4 years from now, we'll know if these older quarterbacks coming out of college was a good or bad thing. Okay. But it's something for us to seriously like analyze, right? Whether you're for it or against the older quarterbacks coming out of college, because a lot of people will say Hendon Hooker was too old. Aiden O'Connell was like 24. He's too old. Penix Jr. is too old. Honestly, guys, we don't know. We won't know for like a couple years, but it's going to do something to the quarterback market. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's just, something I want to throw in there that I think that is important to kind of touch on. So, and then, so how's that going to reset the quarterback market? The other one I thought of with the Penix Jr. thing, because I want to finish up the Penix Jr. thoughts, even though we didn't get him, but does this end, like, does Kirk Cousins' injury, is it more concerning than we know of? Right? That was something that I don't know if anybody's talked about it or whatever, but like, we don't know how Kirk Cousins got paid a lot of money, but a lot of times teams don't even know how severe the injury may have been and where the recovery process is until they get the player in the building. So to me, is it possible? I think it's possible, but I'm gonna say, is it possible Kirk Cousins got this big contract? The Falcons gave him a contract. He gets in the building, and then like the Falcons are like, holy cow, like his recovery process and his injury is a lot worse than we originally thought. That means the Falcons may have fucked up. The Falcons may have done a Jimmy G type contract where they're like, yeah, we'll give you a contract. The dude is still hurt. He comes in. I know we didn't give Jimmy G quite the contract that Kirk Cousins got, but there's a possibility that the Falcons may have fucked up by giving Kirk Cousins a contract, So, they're like, it just, there's more questions than not why the Falcons would go for Penix Jr., even if we think he's a good quarterback or whatever. So maybe there's something as far as the injury that we don't know or understand with Kirk Cousins, and the Falcons realize they fucked up and their, plan B or, way to try to mitigate the risk with Kirk Cousins is to get a quarterback like Penix Jr. So that's interesting, man. So we'll see what happens. All right, let me get back in the chat here, and I'll kind of move on to the next topic. If you guys had anything else you want to say about any of that, let me know. All right. OJ Raider said, Raiders should draft the team needs for a long time now. BPA is something we've been screaming for. Yeah, and that's one of my notes, bro. Yep, you hit the nail on the head. We're here now. Let's get the day going. Yeah, let's get it, bro. Said Zeus will be showcased in a jumbo formation. Abdullah will be showcased off play action. Same with both tight ends. Tucker's going to stretch. Just need a consistent, confident QB. Yeah. No, I think you're right on that. I mean, that's some of my take too, as far as scheming and stuff, man. I don't know who you're talking to, D-Man. It's all good. Drive safe. If I miss something, but whoever's driving or whatever, you guys drive safe, man. Be safe out there. How's that Texas QB for Gamble and Camp Body? I think they were saying he's more of a project, looked decent at Combine, which doesn't mean much. I didn't focus too much on the later round picks. I thought we would, I don't know. I was focusing more on mainly Jaden Daniels. Like I spent a little bit of time on Spencer Rattler, but that's and Joe Milton. Other than those two, I don't know. I wasn't focusing too much on the later round draft picks as far as quarterbacks go. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but like, cause my focus is more on Jaden Daniels and Penix Jr. Sorry. Artie Raider said, give hardcore a like. Appreciate that, bro. I have no faith. Worst head coach in NFL history. 4th round QB draft pick. At this point, watching our ex-girlfriend's dogger 4th round. Yeah, Jason Downs said, I'm growing out a mustache. Let's go, Gardner Minshew. All right, man. And that's a few things I want to get into too, man. Joe Milton is Vince Young. No thanks. All right. AKN Miller, shout out to you, man. So Telesco might be hedging for when if Devontae moves on. Yeah, man. So miss you, big dog. Take care. Listening to work. All right. Appreciate you, Pete. Good to see you in here, bro. Hell yeah. All right. So, all right. So that was kind of one of the things I want to touch on was Penix. I know it was long-winded. The other one is going to be a lot shorter as far as the first round goes, but hey, man, let's be excited. Like, let's be happy. The Chargers did not get Marvin Harrison Jr. If Marvin Harrison Jr. would have fell to the Chargers, man, that would have sucked, guys. So, I think the fact that the Chargers did not get Marvin Harrison Jr. is a huge blessing. So that's something else I wanted to touch on that I think is a cool thing coming out of the draft that like we should be, grateful for, because that was one of my biggest concerns. I was like, just don't let, Marvin Harrison Jr. go to the freaking Chargers. So, all right, we already talked about the Keenan Allen quote, so I'm not going to really retouch that. All right, so here's my first take. All right, I'm going to get into the cons, right? I'm coming out the gate swinging, and some guys aren't going to like this, but I'm always going to be real with you guys. Whether you agree or disagree with this, like this was kind of my first thought, or one of my first thoughts after we got Brock Bowers. And so I'll show the picture first before I tell you what I'm going to say. And I'm not saying, let me turn the brightness down. I'm not even going to say like I'm correct on this, but this is something I was thinking about, guys. What does that face of Antonio Pierce look like to you? Analyze that face. What does that face look like to you? A guy that's always smiling, always happy, always pumped up. I mean, to me, body language is a lot, guys. Body language means a lot. And to me, that wasn't exactly a face of someone that was super excited and happy. It just wasn't. And if you rewatch the video on Twitter or whatever of the Raiders, like maybe he's just nervous. Maybe that's just a nervous face, and maybe I'm over analyzing it. But to me, the body language from, when the Raiders put up that little video of Antonio Pierce did not look like somebody that was happy. So maybe I'm speculating too much. I'll admit that. But what I'm gonna say is that could this draft pick be the first like splitting of hairs or the first like thorn between Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce? Let's think. Antonio Pierce obviously won Jay Daniels. Maybe it's unrealistic, but we know Antonio Pierce wanted that. And then, we're thinking, if not Jane Daniels, probably going to be Penix Jr. Okay. And then that obviously don't happen because what the Falcons did. And then maybe some of us thought cornerback Terrion Arnold or whatever. So I'm feeling like, is it possible that Antonio Pierce wanted someone else other than Brock Bowers? because I'm sorry, guys. Like, I am not going to disregard the body language. This is a man that's very confident, very happy, very pumped. And that is not a face of what I've seen from this man in the past. So that concerns me. I'll be honest. It absolutely concerns me. So there could be, because sometimes you get, this is how GMs and head coaches don't get along, right? And yeah, Tom Telesco is a more experienced GM and stuff. And maybe Antonio Pierce eventually will be okay with it. But I came up with this topic from the get-go, and I don't want to speculate, create rumors. I really don't, dude. I don't want to create strife within the team that I love between the general manager and the coach. But it's possible Antonio Pierce did not want this pick, guys. Let's be real about it. Even if we like it, okay? Even if you like the pick, even if you love the pick, even if you think I'm full of shit and wrong, that was not the look from a man that's excited and happy. And it's just not. And I can't sit here and pretend like everything's fluffy and puppy dogs. Will it come out later on that Antonio Pierce wanted someone else? I don't freaking know, guys. I don't. I wish I did. I hope I'm wrong, you know? But, and it could be, yeah, it could be blah, 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 or whatever, you know? I hope it's not. I hope it's not. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, man. You could say that, but I'm not, dude. I'm not, man. No, dude. Every picture, everything you've ever seen from Antonio Pierce, and maybe this is his first draft, is not the look of this, bro. So, like, let's be real, man. Let's not be fake. That is not a face of what we've ever seen from Antonio Pierce, right? So you could say I'm overanalyzing it and, you know, try to take shots at me or whatever, man, no matter who it is. But I'm not full of shit, dude. I pick up on body language and what the fuck pretty well from people and stuff. And you know what I mean? So, all right, I'm just going to leave it at that. So it was one of my topics or notes that I had down. And yeah, maybe I am overanalyzing it. I don't think I am, guys. I hope I'm wrong, though. So, you know what I mean? It could be that, dude. It could be just he was pissed we couldn't get Daniels. You're right. But I don't know. All I know is a guy that's always happy, always hyped. When they did that video, that is not a guy that looks fucking happy, guys. It looks like a guy that, nah, dude. Ern, you be you, bro. I love you, Ern, but nah, bro. That's a guy that's pissed off, and he's trying to like pretend like he's not, but he can't fucking hide it, dude, because his body language showed it. If it was just Jane Daniels, maybe it is, guys. Maybe it is. I'm just saying, like, my reason why I put that note in there is I hope that's all it is. And I hope it's not like something between the general manager and our head coach that could grow into something else that's not good. Because we've seen that in teams, and it can destroy a fucking team. So, you know, we'll see, guys. We'll see what happens, you know. And I'm just gonna leave that part at that. So that was one of the cons of the draft pick, that it could have negatively affected our coach. Okay, let's just be real about it, man. I'm weighing. I got a lot of positives too. This isn't all negative, guys. I just try to think of all the possibilities of negatives, because that's what I do. I overanalyze stuff or whatever, however you want to put it. But I have a bunch. I start with the negative stuff, and we're going to finish it with the positive stuff, because there is a lot of positive topics. All right, or notes I have. All right. 6 QBs went. I mean, we kind of talked about this in the Penix thing, but you know, 6 QBs went before the Raiders picked. You know, that was kind of crazy. Like, I was laughing right before the Raiders draft. Like, you know, their pick was coming up. I was laughing because I'm like, hey, that means there's a bunch of, you know, good, talented guys on the board. But like, that was nuts to have 6 quarterbacks taken by the time Raiders picked at 13. That's got to be a record. You know what I mean? I don't remember there ever being 6 quarterbacks taken before pick 13. So that's not exactly a con, but maybe it is, depending how you want to look at it. And if you thought Raiders, you know, if we thought we were going to get a quarterback, that's just kind of one of the negatives about the who we ended up drafting as far as Brock Bowers. All right. And then I put this, I don't know if this would be a con, but was Brock Bowers really the best player available? A lot of people are saying yes. I wanted Fauga, the offensive tackle. We'll see, man. You know, probably, like, looking at it, probably he was the best player available. And a lot of us probably didn't think that he was going to fall. And I definitely didn't have tight end, and most of us probably didn't have tight end on our boards or whatever, guys. So, all right, next up on the topics for like cons. I just wrote Michael Mayer affected or is he injured? Okay. I think it's an important question, man. Could Michael Mayer like how can this affect Michael Mayer, and is he possibly still injured, or are the Raiders worried about his injury? You know, Tom Telesco said no, that they're not worried about his injury, but we don't know. You know, coaches and scouts and GMs say that all the time, guys, about players' injuries and stuff, like, oh yeah, he'll be fine or whatever, and they don't say much about it. So that was one of the things I wanted to put in there, that like, how's this going to affect Michael Mayer? How we can split the playing time, stuff like that. So is it possible that Mayer could be on the trade block if maybe he is dealing with an injury or something? I don't want to trade Mayer. I like Mayer a lot. I was a little upset when we got him because I wanted Hendon Hooker last year, but I've grown to really like him. I think he's got a lot of potential. And so for me, just trying to put myself in Mayer's shoes, you're drafted, and say if he is healthy, we get another tight end that's better than him. How is that going to affect him? That could be a negative thing, if we're being real about it. Does this pick show more of a lack of confidence in O'Connell or Minshew? Okay. Does the draft pick of getting Brock Bowers, so now we have like essentially 2 starting tight ends, does it show a lack of confidence in Aiden O'Connell? And I don't know. It's possible that us drafting a second tight end shows a lack of confidence in our quarterback. Okay. And then the only other con I had is the fact that obviously we did not get a quarterback, an offensive tackle, or a cornerback. So most of us would have rather had a QB, which we all know why it didn't happen, or an offensive tackle or a cornerback. I wanted, given how things worked out in the draft, I wanted to go tackle, but I think that's a negative. We've came out of the first round, and our 3 biggest needs, I know we got best player available, and we're going to get into the positives here in a second, but we came out of the first round and we still have some key holes that we got to address, meaning offensive tackle, cornerback, and what are we going to do at quarterback position, QB. So kind of catch my breath there and see what you guys are saying. And then we'll get into the positives. There's a lot of positives, guys. There is. So don't be tripping out. But, I wanted to weigh the possible negatives first, but AP recruited Bowers and almost had him at ASU. Now he gets him in pros. AP wanted JD5. We know that would probably be disappointing after Penix went 8. We all lost our steam. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at with it, man. I mean, you guys are right. Like, I don't want to over speculate on the picture or the body language from Antonio Pierce, but it wasn't good, guys. It wasn't good. I just don't know what it was for. If it was just the quarterback and Jayden Daniels, I mean, but it could have created some strife between the head coach and the general manager. So if you hear rumors or stuff later on, just remember I addressed it right now. Okay. And it concerned me, and I don't want there to be any strife. Okay. I don't want to create drama and speculation, but if something comes out later on, just remember, dude, that I pointed it out from the get-go, that I noticed it, right then and there. And it's not like I want a pat on the back. I want my team to win. I don't want there to be any animosity or anything, man. Remember, we got a first-time head coach and a first-time general manager for the Raiders, but the general manager has more experience. He said, I can't say your take isn't wrong. It's a very interesting point. Yeah. And that's why, dude, I said, I'm going to have different points than other people, guys. It just, like, again, even if I'm saying I'm not correct on like all this stuff or whatever, I just tried to think of all the potential like negative things, because I have a lot of positive things as well, man. That's all. I don't know what he's saying. That was literally all of our faces. Oh, I think you're probably talking about our reaction or whatever. Yeah. All right. Gord said, yes, but we didn't know who the pick was. He knew who the pick was. Yeah. Oh, I thought the picture was shown after. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know at what point that picture was taken. Like, I screenshotted the picture, but the video was put on Twitter, and I wasn't live on Twitter because I was live on YouTube. I wasn't live on Twitter, and I don't know if that video was taken before the Raiders picked the Brock Bowers, or after, or during, or what the time frame was. Yes, like, I guess kind of probably where you're getting at. We got to have better context, and I should have mentioned this, to be honest. Like, we got better context when that video was taken. Was it taken right after Jane Daniels was picked? Was it taken right after Penix Jr. was picked? Was it taken right after the Broncos picked and right before the Raiders picked? I don't know, because we'd have to see when the post was posted to Twitter and compare that timeline with the draft, and that'd be kind of hard to do unless you were following it live. But even then, you don't know when the actual video was recorded, so it could have been posted after we picked Bowers, but maybe taken before. Like the actual video taken before the Raiders had their draft pick in. I don't know. All I see is something that did not pertain mentally to me in a positive way, and so that's why I put on my cons list or negatives. If that picture was shown before the draft, we didn't know, but he did. That's bad news. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that face as a point for sure means that he got into with Telesco about giving away draft capital to get his guy Jaden. It means something. I don't know what, but it's not a positive thing. That's why I have it on my negative list. I could be mistaken. 10-day also try to get caught up here. It only helps out Antonio to draft Jalen, but if they miss on that, it really makes Telesco look like an asshole, and he'll never get a job again. I guarantee you fluffed or feathers were fluffed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. I hate to speculate, dude, because I really don't like speculation, dude. I'm just trying to be real, guys. He's a great second bird, one stone blocker and receiver. The move might pay overtime. Better hope. There's some good players in the second, third still. Yeah, we're gonna get into that too. I can't find any highlight reels on Bowers blocking. I was pissed yesterday. Yeah, I was too, guys. I was, man. But I've kind of calmed down. I wanted to sleep on it. Space Beast, what up? He said, I've been pounding the table for a third wideout. Xavier legit was top of my list. We got Weapon X as our third wide receiver. I'm happy. All right, man. I like it, bro. I looked up Bowers' yards after catch and his playmaker. Yeah, he is, man. He is. Run those likes up. Appreciate that. D Menace. Raider Rick said, I wouldn't like it, but he is teased about coming out of retirement, and he loved Gronk Hernandez duo. I know it's crazy, but I'm starting to wonder. I don't know, man. I know you're talking about. I have it on my notes, honestly. I don't know if I wanted to talk about it, but yeah, I don't know, man. Now the Chiefs have a guy we didn't want them to get 4.2 speed with Tyreek Hill as a back. I don't know. A lot of those fast guys aren't always good hands, dude. They're so fast, but they don't have good hands. And maybe this guy will have good hands like Tyreek Hill, but a lot of fast guys, even Trey Tucker, they end up bobbling the ball, man. It's hard to find a super fast guy with good hands. Telesco said if there's best player available, he will get it regardless of need. And that's kind of thrash to my point of what I was talking about, the body language from Antonio Pierce is like maybe it's possible Antonio Pierce wanted player X, whether it's Jaden Daniels or Penix Jr. or whatever, and Telesco's like overrid it because righted it because he's the GM. It was like, we're gonna get this guy. I don't know. And then maybe the video was taken. I don't know, guys. Maybe the video was taken before we picked or something like that. So Raider Paul. The negative is unknown is Getsy. Yeah, true. Yeah. Like how's the offensive coordinator going to use our weapons? Nah, bro, don't chip. Really can't catch. He's like a rocket. Ishmael be wide open. The ball bounced right off his hands. Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying, man. My sleeper guy, I'll talk about it coming up here. Mayer for blocking, Bowers for receptions. That could be the plan, man. The picture was before Raiders or before it's on Raiders YouTube. Okay. But is it after Jane Daniels and Penix Jr. went? A++ grade. He'll fit perfectly with State Farm with everybody else who drop balls. Damn. I saw a video when they got Bowers. AP wasn't happy. Yeah. That's kind of like what I don't know if you're referring to what I was talking about earlier, but yeah. That's kind of what was my take, man. Maybe just tired of stuff. All right. So J Dog 209, salute, man. Ain't seen you in a minute. Hopefully you're doing good, bro. Said we need to draft a cornerback. Tampa, because all the other top cornerbacks are gone, are gonna be gone. Then go O-line. Draft stuff. Shadow X, people chilled. Joe Milt and Jordan Travis are still available. Is Jordan Travis the guy from Texas? I've heard people mention the name Jordan Travis. I haven't done a ton of research on him, so I don't know. That's the one probably missing thing to my analysis to see where I'm at with him or whatever. J Dog said, I'm just pissed we talked so much about a QB and wasting time just for nothing. Yeah, bro. I know, man. He is mad because he didn't save any money by switching to Geico. Nice. Oh, man, that's funny. Damn, I'm way behind, dude. I'm gonna have to pause here in a second. Let's see. We got NorCal Dog. He said you don't pass on prospect who's because he's from the Bay. You're talking about Brock Bowers. Forgot about that. Who's revered by many as best prospect at a position. Initial stun, but stunned as he fell to our lap. Shout out to you, Cowtown Looted. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get into the positives here, dude. I'm just trying to get caught up. But yeah, I mean, I feel it, man. I'm kind of, I'm coming around to it. I wasn't like, I tried not to be super extreme. It did surprise me, but Mike 918 said salute. Said I was upset at first, but like I told you, I didn't feel like it was a wasted first round this year. Yep, I kind of feel that too. In my opinion, he was a BPA on the board. Rounds 2 to 4 are where we feel position needs. Facts. Yep. And it's going to be important, guys. So yeah, 209. All right. Give me one quick second. I'll be right back, guys. And then get into the positives here. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So the rest of the video, real quick, we'll kind of touch on kind of the topics I want to get into. It's already been 44 minutes. I don't want to make this too long-winded because I know people lose, interest or whatnot. So, but the rest of the video, let's focus on the positives of the draft pick, Brock Bowers, and then let's look at rounds like 2 and 3, kind of what I'm thinking, what you guys are thinking. So, kind of we'll go from there. So, see if there's any last minute comments you guys want to say before I get on the positives here. Raider Rick said, at least we're talking about coach and GM possibly not agreeing instead of Gruden or McDermott has made that pick. And that's one of my notes I have on here, guys. I do, which is a positive and a negative, but I'll get into that on kind of the second, third round stuff notes I have. All right, you're reading my mind. All right, Gary Terry, what up? He said getting top 3 players in college. And here it's longer. Thicker's a problem. I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to say, bro. Ender Slayers, shout out to you, man. Said grew up Raiders fan in Napa and used to go to the old practice field. Oh, nice. We had up in there every summer growing up. This is like a dream team for him. Nice, man. You're talking about Bowers? That's pretty sick, man. So it's taking a hardcore piss. Hopefully you guys can hear that. I probably should have muted my mic. Sorry about that. All right. Yep. If you guys want, man, you guys can check out my my card channel. I got some cool stuff going on there. I'm trying to elevate that to up. There's the Marcus Allen card. Let's see here. Got a Devontae Adams. This one's pretty cool. And so, like, I'll go live. I'm trying to do it to where I go live Fridays. I got just a few here. I got a ton, but what I'm trying to do it a little differently than what I did before. And then here's a Michael Mayer auto. But try to do it a little differently where essentially I'm going to do a highlight video. So those that don't want to watch live, you guys can go watch a 4 to like 10 minute video around that range. of like the highlights. And, you know, so even if you're not like wanting to be live with me when I open up my packages, so everything I buy, whether it's a break or from eBay or whatever, another Aiden O'Connell right there. I post on my other YouTube channel, which is called Hardcore Card Collecting. So that's what D-Man has put in the chat. So appreciate that. I'm gonna try to get more consistent on there. We're putting up stuff I'm buying and stuff. But said you should have your cards up as your green screen. Yeah, dude, like I got so many cards. This is not even, dude. This is just kind of what I've done this last like couple of weeks or whatever. That box, those are the Raider ones. I have some non-Raider ones as well, and then this right here. But like I have like a massive box like this of cards I've been collecting. So, another Aiden O'Connell. But hey, I'll be honest with you guys. If you guys, depending on where you're at on Aiden O'Connell, if he ends up being the guy and you want some cards, right now his cards are if you go on eBay, just type in like Aiden O'Connell autograph or whatever on eBay, dude, you can find some damn good cards of Aiden O'Connell for not real expensive. And his cards, if he does good and we don't like draft somebody that's going to start, or say if it's not Minshew, if it ends up being Aiden O'Connell, he does good, his card prices are going to go up. You know what I mean? And that's a John Madden right there. So, but anyway, but yeah, appreciate that. I try to leave the card stuff on my other channel and just leave this channel for like just the Raiders stuff or whatever. So, and I do want to do some interviews on the other channel of like sports fandom, but haven't had opportunity to elevate that part of the channel. But anyway, so all right, let's get into the positives here, guys, so we can kind of get into the second, third rounds, because that's what I'm real excited about. All right, positives. As many people said, best player available, BPH. You know, it said that Brock Bowers will be a generational talent. You know, I said before, like, was he really best player available? He probably was. Most people probably like had him mocked to, you know, the Jets or something like that. But, you know, I did want Fuga, the offensive tackle, but, you know, there's talks that he's generational talent. So if we look at, so kind of to what someone was saying earlier about like Gruden and other, you know, GMs and coaches of the Raiders, we've done a first round draft pick and we're like, what the hell? And like nobody had them in the first round or that high, whether it's Cleveland Farrell or who was it, Conley, or was Conley in the first or second? Then the other, trying to think of the other cornerback that's freaking doing drugs and like in jail or whatever now. But you know, or Alex Leatherwood. I mean, there's been so many head scratching picks that nobody, like none of the not that the analysts are right a lot of times, but that none of the analysts had top 10 or 15 the Raiders have picked, and we've all been like, what the hell? So it's nice at least the Raiders did a pick that a lot of analysts and a lot of people think he's a generational talent and he's going to be a superstar. So, you know, I think a pro is like, yeah, we probably did go best player available, even if Antonio Pierce is upset or whatever, like I talked about earlier, or whatever. It's nice at least we got to trip out on why the Raiders did another boneheaded move in the first round. Okay, so I think that's a huge positive, right? My other note was Tom holds true in the first round, doing a good job. Meaning, like Tom is known for drafting best player available. That's kind of his, you know, thing. It seems like is like he's done really good in the first rounds. There's a negative part to that, but we'll talk about that later on. I'm not going to talk about that on the positives, but I guess the positive thing is Tom said he's going to draft best player available, and he held true to it. He didn't just talk about it; he did it. You know, even if we disagree with the pick or if we're upset or whatever, we have a general manager that held true to his guns, even if our head coach may not like the pick, because there's that possibility too. But later on, our offense, I think, and our coach is probably going to like the pick, and I think we will too. You know, but you know, we'll see. Hindsight's 2020. The other positive is this: what current QB on the Raiders roster does Bowers benefit most? Okay, and I think this is important. What quarterback that's currently on the Raiders roster, so meaning Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, does Brock Bowers benefit most? And you could even throw in like running a 2 tight end sets or having 2 tight ends, meaning what quarterback's going to be better in the 5 to 10 yard range, you know, because that's really the bread and butter, in my opinion, for these tight ends, maybe up to 15 yards. But, you know, so what quarterback is better in that shorter range throwing the ball? I'm not sure at this point. Maybe it might be Gardner Minshew. I mean, I'm thinking it's probably Gardner Minshew has a better, shorter ball in that range than Aiden O'Connell. But that was just something that I kind of thought it was interesting. Um, kind of leads into my next two topics, which is essentially red zone and third downs. Okay. So, like I said, there's a lot of positives. So, with having two tight ends, let alone a stud like Brock Bowers, guys, like red zone effectiveness and third downs. Okay. We know as Raider fans, like we've been talking about the red zone effectiveness for a long time, and the Raiders have been utterly pathetic. No matter who the quarterback was, no matter who the coach was, it's been like something you could go back a long time, even before Gruden, before McDaniels, before even going back to Jack Del Rio. We were talking about red zone effectiveness, right? Even before Carr. So the point is, the Raiders, we have struggled with red zone effectiveness for a long damn time. The fact that we're going to have two really good tight ends, one that should be a stud, or one should be a super stud, meaning Brock Bowers, and then Michael Mayer being a stud, right? I think we have to look at that as a very positive thing. It's possible our red zone effectiveness could pick up immensely, okay? Which also ties into the third, which is going to result in touchdowns, right? Not just field goals, right? Like, yeah, I love that we have a good kicker, Daniel Carlson. If your kicker is your highlight, even going back to the Janikowski days, if your kicker is your highlight, it means your offense is fucking pathetic and you can't score touchdowns, guys. That's all that means. And that usually means you're not winning games. So yeah, you want a good kicker, but your kicker can't be your highlight, dude. You can't get to the red zone and be like, let's go kicker, and always relying on your kicker to win the game or to tie the game or whatever it might be, especially if you're behind the curve. So you have to be able to, especially against the good teams, you have to be able to go down and score touchdowns, which we all know. This isn't like rocket science, right? So I'm not testing anybody's intelligence. Like, we all know that this is an obvious issue on our team. The fact that we're going to have two tight ends and a good offensive coordinator should be able to scheme to where we can be a lot more effective and getting more touchdowns is very, very important. So even though there's some cons to this, the positive part, this should result in more wins or more touchdowns, which then results with more wins. The other part about this is third downs. We've been destroyed on a lot of third downs at a lot of times because these defensive ends are so damn good. They're so damn fast that the defensive ends, obviously are rushing our offensive line. And yeah, part of our offensive line sucks. We still have a big question mark at offensive line. Part of it's the offensive line. Part of it you could blame on Aiden O'Connell not being mobile, not being a running style quarterback, or however you want to word it. But if you have a defense, and I said this yesterday, but I'm going to reiterate it. If you have a defense that's rushing the quarterback like a Khalil Mack when we first played them and other teams that's constantly rushing them, especially on third down, you got to get the ball out quick. And that almost always leaves a portion of the field between 5 and 10 yards. It leaves a portion of the field open a lot of times. So the point is, if we have two tight ends, right, whether we're splitting them out wide, we're going to do a bunch, we're going to do trips formation or whatever it might be, we should be able to scheme some stuff up on those critical third downs where we can get a lot more conversions for a first down having two tight ends. So as far as scheme, and so red zone and third downs, I like it, dude. There's been so many times on third downs when like you can tell they're going to rush the quarterback and I'm yelling, get the ball out quick. And they don't do it and ends up being a sack or some stupid play. And I'm like, dude, but if you have two tight ends and you game plan, for that short yardage situation, a lot of times you can convert if you have a smart offensive coordinator, and so you just have to scheme appropriately as far as that goes. Okay. Sorry, reading my last notes here for the positives. I did throw in here what someone kind of mentioned earlier is Tom Brady-esque running two tight end sets, meaning, like you guys said, Gronk and who's the other dude, Hernandez or something, I think it was the dude that went to jail or prison or whatever. So, we like if you look at Tom Brady, okay, so here's like, I get it, dude. Like some of you guys don't like Aiden O'Connell, you hate him or whatever. And like I was against us picking him up because the interceptions and because I wanted my guy Hendon Hooker. But there is some upside to him, right? So if you look at why Tom Brady was successful, right? Yeah, it wasn't just Hernandez and Gronkowski. I mean, Gronkowski was a large part of it for a long time, but it was also, the guys like Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, Amendola, you know, slot wide receivers. Like Brady wasn't one of these quarterbacks like everybody's wanting now. You know, Brady did a lot of checkdowns, you know, to the point where a lot of times Brady wasn't like Aaron. I mean, he could throw the ball deep sometimes, but they would set up that deep pass by a bunch of like death by 1,000 cuts, a bunch of 5 to 4 to maybe 8 yard routes, you know, just like splintering the fucking defenses apart. And then the defenses bite on the short passes, and then he would throw it fucking deep, and then it'd be like the knife to the throat kill from Tom Brady. So you know, I'm not gonna say Aiden O'Connell is Tom Brady, but if you look at the play styles and their skill sets, you know, we can all agree that Aiden O'Connell is not freaking Lamar Jackson, is not RG3, right? And is not Justin Fields. But Aiden O'Connell is a quarterback that if you want him to be successful, he's going to have time, and you're going to have to scheme things a little bit more old school like than some of the more modern quarterbacks in the NFL that people are wanting, okay? Keeping in mind, a lot of the mobile quarterbacks have not won Super Bowls, guys. They just haven't. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, the more modern style quarterback has not proven to be champions. And until they have, it's yet to be known if the new style quarterback is going to be here to stay or not. You know, how many of these guys are going to end up like an RG3 hurt? It's a concern. It should be. If your quarterback is running for 1,000 yards like a Justin Fields, you don't want that. That's a running back, and you're putting your quarterback in way too much liability risk, in my opinion. Now, if you leave your quarterback to run between 400 to maybe 600 yards, if they're a mobile style, I think that's a little different. But if you think it's smart to have your quarterback running over 1,000 yards a season, that's the same as a running back, okay? And that's a smart decision when you're going to pay him 40, 50 mil, and they might get their head clocked off and hurt. And I get it. You can get injured any day, any hour, any position, but you're going to be a lot more vulnerable to getting hurt running that much. Is it going to be worth it? I don't know, guys. We'll see. We'll see. Like maybe we'll revisit this a few years from now and see if Lamar Jackson has won a Super Bowl. If Justin Fields has won a Super Bowl. I know Fields has gone to the Super Bowl, but we have yet, besides other than Russell Wilson years back, because he's that mobile running style quarterback. You know, you look at the history, it's not proven that the mobile style quarterback are champions. Okay, so until otherwise, you know, even Patrick Mahomes, like he can run, but he's a lot of times like he's more of a scrambler and runs when he needs to. Okay. He used to run a lot and he toned it back a lot. So Patrick Mahomes is the anomaly. I will say that, but he's also not your average guy or average quarterback. So, you know, I just want to say it like, because my end point is this: is the NFL grown to a point where an Aiden O'Connell cannot be a quarterback in the NFL? It should be an honest question, even if you disagree with me. Is there any place for a pocket passer style quarterback to be victorious and to win championships, and a place in the NFL currently? The one caveat I will say is the defensive ends are faster and much better than they ever used to be. You know, they're like super studs. So guys are rushing off the edge of the line a lot more, athleticism than, you know, like years past. So I get that perspective. I do, you know, and, you know, I don't know. So if you're going to have a more of a pocket passer style quarterback like Aiden O'Connell, a 2 tight end sets and that short yardage, you might need a guy like Brock Bowers to help someone like an Aiden O'Connell to be victorious. So it is a positive. Okay. I will admit that is a positive if you have the right offensive coordinator to scheme it correctly. Okay. So that part of it I also don't hate. I guess the last positive, before we move on to kind of rounds 2 and 3 and see if you guys have anything to say, is, you know, quarterback Spencer Rattler is still on the board, and no teams before the Raiders need a quarterback. And we'll look at it coming up here after I kind of look at your guys' what you guys are saying and stuff. But the fact that we at least still have an option to get a quarterback that has potential, I think it's a positive. I could look at that as a positive. He didn't go in the first round, and yeah, nobody I didn't think he'd be a first round quarterback. But there's really no teams ahead of the Raiders, as I'll show you guys coming up here, in the second round that need a quarterback. Now a team can trade ahead of the Raiders to get a quarterback, but there's still options on the board. And I think that's a positive, you know? Yeah, Spencer Rattler's not a starter. He's probably not going to start this year, next year. He's a little bit smaller of a quarterback, but if you want a mobile style quarterback, there's at least still one that has potential that you can sit. You don't have to rush, and it can be a value pick. I'm not saying that's what we should do. I'm kind of been weighing it back and forth, but the point is we have options. You know, like some people feel like if we're stuck with O'Connell or whatever it might be, like that, it's just the end of the world and we're not going to win any games. I like the fact that even after getting Brock Bowers, we still have options on the table. And if we didn't have options or the options were very limited, then that concerns me a lot more. But all right, so you guys are saying, and you guys probably got some good things to say. Let's see. I don't know how far back up I'm going to go. If I miss your comment, I apologize. You can put it back in here if it's something important. I'm only going to scroll up so far. So, trying to find a stopping point. All right, let's just start with Thrash maybe. Or right here. The last boy, what up? All right, so Gardner is better than overall than AOC right now. Yes, to be determined, dude. Aiden O'Connell's going to second year. You always see the most growth in year two from players. It means Raymond Chester. You're talking about the two tight end duo set. Yeah, Raymond Chester and Casper. Is it Thrash? He said, "Hey there, days where Janikowski was our only shot at winning." Yeah, but Janikowski was great, dude. Like my wife has a jersey of his, but like you don't want to rely on Janikowski being your, you know, or your kicker to win your games, man. I know games come down to the wire. I'm just saying that should be your last resort. It shouldn't be your crutch in your side. Like, oh, we're going to win this game because we have a kicker, man. You know, you have to be able to, your offense has to win games without it always being your kicker, being the guy to save the day. Says I was responding to fast guys don't always make good receivers. Bowers is not part of that response. Yeah, no, I feel you, bro. I was talking like Trey Tucker, and I think you were talking about the Chiefs wide receiver. I get his name, but yeah, just because you're fast doesn't mean you have good hands. Yeah, and I agree with that. A lot of fast guys don't have good hands, man. It's just the facts, man. It's hard to find the Tyreek Hill, you know, kind of style. So Bauer's not a true tight end. He's a hybrid backfield. On the line, wideout, Mayer will be number one. Bowers all over the place. I like it, man. Shout out to Frankie, the last boy. I like the name. Said, I wonder if that's Raider Ben or something. He said, our offense is going up, no question. Hope we get Jackson Powers Johnson in the second. All right. Is that I need to do more research on the second. There's a few guys I was looking at. Is that offensive tackle? I can't remember. We can also use Brock as a running back like McCaffrey. Yeah. And Trey Tucker. Well, Trey Tucker's a little small. I have an option for that in the later rounds I'll talk about too. But yeah, I like having options where you can rotate guys like in the backfield and stuff for sure. Yeah, Bowers will help on third down. It helped Georgia. Yep, facts, bro. Bowers lined up and slot 40% of the time, out wide 10% of the time. He's definitely a hybrid. Yep, he is. He's a lot more versatile than Michael Mayer. But let's not forget, Michael Mayer is a good tight end. If he's healthy, man, Michael Mayer, you know, he's a good dude, man. I like Michael Mayer a lot. So, oh my bad, I was saying Texas. I was talking about the Tennessee guy. J Dog said, whatever we can do to throw off defense. Facts. I was shocked how many jet sweeps he successfully ran. Oh, you're talking about Brock Bowers, Spencer Rattler time. Let's get it. Shout out to you, Mike. Hope you're doing good. We're gonna get a good one at 44. Cornerback time, getting a QB now. Oh, we aren't getting a QB now. Yeah, and that's like kind of leading up into like that's my next topic to close out will be the second, third rounds. What you guys are thinking. You guys can put in the chat before we kind of give my opinion of some stuff I'm thinking. Maybe fifth round. Is that Space said no QB in the second for us. That's a good point because that's kind of one of my things. I don't know. I kind of threw out some questions that I'll kind of throw in here for you guys. If we can get Jordan Travis in the fourth or fifth, I think it'll be a steal for us. He can sit for a year and then take over unless he wins the job outright. I like that, man. We need a cornerback, or there we go. Cornerback, O-line, and linebacker. He has to sit for a year. He has a broken leg. I don't know who you're talking about. Who has a broken leg? If we stray from what I said, what? If we stray from what I said, they dumb as hell. What are you saying? I have to go back up. Let me see. Oh, right here. Yeah, I got you. Cornerback, O-line, linebacker. I got you, bro. I'm right there with you, man. Yeah, I'm right there with you, bro. And that's kind of one of my notes is like, the later round picks and stuff. But plenty of cornerbacks get Milton in the third. All right. Smart man. AOC is good, but I think he lost his job in camp. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see, man. Frankie, we don't want another Bennett who doesn't play through. Oh, doesn't play though. Need a corner right away. I feel. Tampa's my guy right now. Tall, lengthy corner. Who does he play for, bro? Rush it audible to run with beast mode and Super Bowl. BB in third, good option. All right. Haynes, Pooney are nasty guards too. All right. I support AOC Minshew, but we need at least one good O-line pickup, draft or free agency. Yeah, that's a fact. We need O-line bad, almost more than anything. I mean, that's really if we look at just needs, not best player available or talent, dude, it's got to be O-line. That's our biggest need at this point, right? I'm not saying the best player available is going to be on the board, but let's be honest, that's our biggest weakness right now is whether you want guard or tackle. Some people are saying that Thayer Munford might be the guy. I'm not convinced on that. But to be determined, nothing like sacrificing one of the pass catchers to accommodate for the deficiency of your quarterback. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. That like, who does it benefit most? O'Connell or Minshew having two tight ends? But you're right. At least they made a pick that can help them, though, right? Red zone and third downs. So it's not like there's negatives about it, but there's also a lot of positives. You know what I mean? At least I think we're doing stuff to help the deficiencies on the team, right? Like if we would have gone D tackle, so it's like I think I actually said Byron Young, but I meant Byron Murphy. Like some people would have loved to get Byron Murphy this year, but let's be honest, man. Like it doesn't exactly help the weaknesses on our team as much as we need. Like what we need is offensive line, quarterback, and probably cornerback more than D tackle. I think we're good at D tackle, guys. I really do. Not saying we can't. Said damn 56 in chat, new record, nice. AOC better not start or it's gonna be a shit show. How's Ghost? Salute, bro. I'm gonna talk about Anacon a little bit. Only way I'm going to a game if Minshew starts. Raider Pete, salute, big dog. He says smart to have two tight ends. Need to be dragged down via twist, drop tackle. We might as well take advantage of the new dumb rule. Oh yeah, the new tackle rule. Oh, bro, I know, man. It's ridiculous, man. It's going to like flag football, man. All right, I'm gonna try to skip through some of these, but if I skip your thing, I apologize, guys. Let's see where we go from here. Facts, man. Again, Alice Ghost. What up? All right, the last boy said AOC is a good backup QB, but it might need this full offseason to grade where he's at. If not, then he's a backup. Ceiling, I think, is closest to Fitzpatrick. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't want to prejudge anybody because I do that sometimes, and I got a weird feeling about O'Connell. I'll talk about at the end. As quarterback, you're supposed to make everybody around you better, not sacrifice them, and keep yourself afloat. Frankie, too hard AOC. How many rookies, QBs come out swinging, and a few in between? That's a fact, man. Think about it. Aiden O'Connell was the second best quarterback to CJ Stroud. Aiden O'Connell played better than Bryce Young, and everybody was all over Bryce Young's nuts. I was the only Raider fan that I know of, or people out there that said, "Do not get Bryce Young. He's gonna be a bust." And I did not shy away from that, guys. Meanwhile, people were hating on me because I wanted Hendon Hooker. Dude, I'll still put it out there. Hendon Hooker is going to be better than Bryce Young. Hendon Hooker, when he gets a shot and he shines and people see the talent he has, Hendon Hooker will be the second best quarterback in this draft, or last year's draft, I mean. And I haven't been proven right, and I haven't been proven wrong on my Hendon Hooker analysis. It is TBD, to be determined, and we'll see. And then, if I end up being right, all the haters will freaking, act like they didn't say anything against it and act like, it's just whatever, man. So everybody's a Monday night morning quarterback. And if I'm wrong, then I'll eat humble pie. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong. So we'll see, man. All right. Fun stat. Our offense put up a player that scored more touchdowns than 95% of the wide receivers. Fun stat. Our offense put up a player that scored more touchdowns than 95% wide receivers, including the highest paid wide receiver among, RA. Jacoby Myers, catching, throwing, and running is a Titans machine. Forget and FF. I don't know what you mean by FF. Agree, Frankie. Later, Twan, dude. Salute, big dog, man. Hope you're doing good, bro. Just wanted to kind of revisit my thoughts on the draft, man. Hope you're doing good, bro. Need to get a group show one of these days coming up here, man. ALC 4th round QB for a reason. I got to pick up my kids from school. I think like an hour. So, bro, chat record 71. Damn. I appreciate everybody in here, man. Anybody hits the like, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. YouTube usually blocks my videos, guys. They do, man. They hate me, dude, because I cuss and I'm just like, I'm real. They don't want real. You know what I mean? They're all about that cancel culture stuff. So, a lot of people don't even see if I'm on live or or whatnot. So I've just kind of accepted it. It pisses me off. It's one of the reasons why I get fired up a lot. But yeah, if people are in here and if it is a record or whatever, appreciate you guys, man. It's all love. We don't always agree, but a lot of us, for Raider fans, we all bleed silver and black. We just want the best for our team. We're tired of losing, and that's just the facts, bro. Well, last boy said, JPJ is a center, and I'll take a break in the offseason, guys, dude, when it's all drama, speculation, and drama, and who's cheating on who. I just don't think that's good sports, and stuff will piss me off, and I don't want to be a cancer to the team, you know what I mean? But I'm always going to be real, but I am a very passionate, hardcore Raider fan. Like many of us are all hardcore Raider fans. I have the name, but we're all hardcore Raider fans in here, dude. I know that's a fact too. So, all right, center played right guard also. You're talking about JPJ. All right, as a center, but played right guard also. We can put him at right guard and move to center next year. We can get out of James' contract next year with the way the contract was put together. And part of it was, guys, I was really fired up under Coach McDaniels. I could not keep my shit together. I hated that motherfucker, So I could not be positive, you know what I mean? Now this year's offseason, I've been pretty positive. So I'm just all right, man. Even it was tough kind of the realization. We got rid of Jacobs or whatever, guys. I'll read that comment in a second. But got my Raiders helmet here. Check that bad boy out. Viva Las Vegas. So even though he's not a Raider, got autographed Josh Jacobs helmet. And Jacobs was my favorite Raider since probably Tim Brown, guys. Well, Charles Woodson, Tim Brown, because Charles Woodson came back. So I'll always have love for him. I'm not rooting for his success or whatever necessarily, but having stuff of Jacobs, memorabilia, autographed, and cards and stuff like that. I'm always gonna, be happy that he was a Raider. Somewhere in here I have a really cool Jacobs card I can show you guys. That's a flawless autograph card. Flawless are really expensive cards. That's a 16 out of 25. So I don't have a ton of autographs of his, but that was one that I wanted, and I got that in a break, so that was pretty cool. All right, let's get back on track. Sorry, guys. Did I miss another comment? Let's see. All right, so Raider Pete, shout out, big dog. He said, defensively, what's for second round? Cornerbacks, Cooper, Dijon, Kool-Aid, Newton, linebacker, Edger, Cooper. Yeah, I want to get into it. I'm on the fence, man. I'm really torn right now in the second round, man. All right, Space Beast, appreciate it, man. I could be an asshole sometimes, dude. I'll be honest with you guys, but I try not to be, man. Try to keep my shit in check, but sometimes people set me off or shit sets me off, man. But just don't take it personally. Just know that with me, dude, that I'll come off the handle sometimes, but it's it's still all love, man. That you know, even if I do that or whatever, dude, it's not like I said, man. We all want this team to win, dude. We're all tired of losing, and that's where my passion comes from, bro. Sorry, I didn't mean to skip that. So if we go cornerback in the second, I'm hoping for Cooper Dijon. All right. If right guard, we're going JPJ or Christian Haynes would be my pick. I kind of like that. The problem with the Chiefs is we couldn't score. Bowers should fix that. Yeah, J-Dog. And that's what I was saying about the red zone effectiveness for a positive take and third downs. So even with Aiden O'Connell, I know some people just don't want Aiden O'Connell, dude. Because let's be honest, why don't we want Aiden O'Connell, right? Like, it's because he's not the new modern style quarterback, guys. But it to me, it doesn't mean, and I don't want to jump the gun on my last take of the night, but like, or the day, sorry. It doesn't mean that he can't potentially be a good quarterback still. Is the NFL changed so much where a pocket passer style like Aiden O'Connell can't be successful in the NFL? And I don't think it has, man. I got a weird, sneaky feeling that Aiden O'Connell, there's something special about this guy. And I think my analysis of him, because I didn't, when the Raiders picked him last year and I was pissed off, it wasn't a fair assessment, guys. Even year one, guys, is not a fair assessment. If we're going to judge Aiden O'Connell on his first start against the Chargers and he gets sacked 5 or 6 times or whatever the hell it was by Khalil Mack, and Khalil Mack like ties the record or whatever the hell it was, that's not fair. That is honestly, even though I wanted to win and I was pissed off we lost, we have unrealistic expectations of a rookie that was drafted in the 4th fucking round to think that he's going to go in and beat a team as good as the Chargers and Khalil Mack. And I'm not saying I want to lose. I never want to lose. But, maybe our expectations for Aiden O'Connell in his first year were a little unrealistic. And so, if you have unrealistic expectations, even though we all wanted the Raiders to go 16-0, go to the playoffs and stuff, and I was pissed off too, but like, it's going to take time, guys. How many guys start first year and end up being like a CJ Stroud? Almost none. None of the quarterbacks do what CJ Stroud, did. He's like an anomaly. Anthony Richardson, everybody thought was going to be good. We don't know. He was hurt. We didn't even play, what was it, like a couple games or something, guys? So we don't know, right? Bryce Young, midget toothpick Bryce Young, who I did not want the Raiders to get. We don't know if he's going to be good or not either. He was hurt for part of the year or whatever, but Bryce Young sucked. Bryce Young was not a good quarterback last year. It's just the facts, man. Could he be? Maybe I'm wrong about Bryce Young. But I'll tell you what, Aiden O'Connell played better than Bryce Young, the first overall pick. That's a fact. You see the Panthers put up 63 points on any other team like the Raiders did the second time we played the Chargers? No. So I'm not attacking anybody personally. I'm just like, pointing some things out that I want to talk about with Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell looks like he's running the fucking Statue of Liberty. He's a different style quarterback, dude. I get it, guys. I do. Because we all want the new modern mobile style quarterback, but that just kind of relates to exactly what I was just saying, man. Little boy showed up with his back up and refused to throw the ball. That kid is straight up hype juice. I don't know what you're talking about. Little boy showed up, back up, refused to throw the ball. All right, get Jordan Travis first pick in the second round. The Raiders picked 44 overall. We picked 12. We'll get into it in a second. We picked 12 in the first round. AOC. I hate saying AOC, guys. I really do. I'll be honest, man. I think the term, and I know we've all said it. I've said it or whatever. Calling Aiden O'Connell AOC, I think is a disgrace to Aiden O'Connell. Right? We all know what AOC stands for, and to give an NFL player the nickname of a politician, I think is a disgrace to Aiden O'Connell, and I won't shy away from that. We should just call him O'Connell, man, or give him a different nickname. Don't give him a nickname of some politician, whether you're for or against that politician. I mean, I think it's just disrespect to, and I'm not trying to attack you personally, bro. I'm just saying I think it's disrespect to the player, man. Let's give him a better nickname. So I'm just going to say O'Connell when people say that in there. All right, O'Connell was very hard. Spot, new coach, no left tackle. Maybe you mean right tackle. I mean, I know what's his name was hurt for part of the year, Colton Miller, but all right, rookie play caller with 25% playbook. You might have meant right tackle, unless you're talking about when Colton Miller was hurt. Oh, fantasy football. My bad. I don't do fantasy football, so that's why, yeah. But thanks for correcting that. All right, let's try to get caught up here. I'm going to have to go quick. All right, if we could trade for Hooker, That would be nice, but I don't see Detroit letting them go. They'd be idiots to let them go, man. They were smart, dude. Think about, I mean, like, I don't want to get too fired up here, but like Raiders, we got Byron Young. That's how I got the two mixed up when I was talking about Byron Murphy. But anyways, we got Byron Young last year in the third round. That third round pick, we picked Byron Young. Hendon Hooker went 2 spots before us at pick 68. I remember it like like the back of my head, dude, that when the Lions picked 2 picks ahead of us and the Raiders did not trade up to get Hendon Hooker, I was like, oh man, dude, they had so many opportunities. Think about it. We traded up. How many? We traded up to get Mayer, right? There were some other trades we did. I think we traded up to get even Aiden O'Connell or something, or I'm trying to remember. But like I know we traded up a few times later in the draft to get some guys, or maybe it was like Jacorin Bennett or something like that. But you know, it's just crazy, guys, that we get defensive tackle who like we really don't know what the hell's going on with Byron Young that we got in the third round last year, and then we get Trey Tucker. We could have leveraged some picks to go up and get fucking Hendon Hooker and just sit on him for a year, let him recover. I mean, come on, bro. I don't know, man. I'm not attacking you. I'm just like, it's just frustrating, man. Lions gonna realize what they got, man, and he gonna come on the scene, ball out, and I'm gonna be fucking pissed, man. He's not a Raider. I'm not like, it's not like I'm rooting for him. I'm just gonna be pissed because that could have been our guy, and we wouldn't even be having these conversations right now. It'd be we'd be in a whole different realm. And if we are having the quarterbacks, you know, talk, at least we're not nearly in the, like our backs aren't as against the wall as maybe we feel like some of us feel right now. So, all right. Let's make this easy about Aiden O'Connell. Let's talk about what he's good at doing. Okay. He's got an accurate ball to some degree. Okay. Well, first of all, let's say this. He's willing to take chances. Unlike a previous quarterback for the Raiders. You want me to break it down? What's good and bad? And there is negatives, yeah. What he's good at is taking chances, which can be good and bad, right? Brett Favre led the NFL in interceptions or whatever. Peyton Manning, I think his first year led the league in interceptions. Peyton Manning, one of the greatest to ever play the game, his rookie year, I believe he led the NFL in interceptions, if I'm remembering correctly, right? Aiden O'Connell is willing to take chances, which can be good and bad, because if you're willing to take chances, that means you're usually going to get more interceptions. But I like having a quarterback that's not got his balls tucked between his legs and he's going to throw the ball away on third down when we need 10 yards and we got a quarterback throwing the ball to the ground on third down. And you guys all know who I'm talking about. And it's going to piss some people off that are pro that side of the fence, but it's just the facts, dude. You can't have a quarterback throwing the ball to the ground on third and fourth downs. Even if Gruden was telling him to do that or to throw the ball away, and I get it, turnovers can kill your team and all over, whatever, dude. When you have star like wide receivers like a Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, let them take. You got to give them the opportunity to take chances, guys. You do. You got to make your playmakers you got to let your playmakers make plays. You got to have a quarterback that's willing to take chances. Did Peyton Manning take chances? Did Tom Brady take chances? Fuck yeah, they did. That's how they won games and won Super Bowls. So you can't have a timid quarterback that's not willing to take chances. You know what else Aiden O'Connell's good at? Getting his fucking ass cleaned and knocked to the ground hard as fuck and throwing the ball. He's not scared to take a hit. He's a big guy. Aiden O'Connell's willing to stay in the pocket and get his ass fucking clocked while he's throwing the ball. And you saw that last year. Unlike other quarterbacks that we've had, whether you go back to one of the previous quarterbacks recently, all the way to Jeff George. Anybody that's been a Raider fan a long time, you remember what Jeff George would do? Every time he'd drop back, he'd curl up like a ball to get fucking sacked. You know, I remember being a kid, being just angry as fuck at Jeff George for that bullshit, dude. Everybody thinks Jeff George is this greatest, like, you know, Raider quarterback. The dude was a pussy. He would curl up as a ball as soon as, like, the defensive lineman wouldn't even be close to him. He'd curl up like a ball, like a little bitch, and get sacked. So that's what else Aiden O'Connell's good at. He's got balls. He's not afraid to get his ass fucking clocked, dude. And that means a lot to me. It's dangerous because you can get hurt that way. One of the other good things, he's not the best at it, but I've seen him wiggle in the pocket. When pressure gets around him, I've seen him not exactly crumble. Now, I have seen him crumble, so it's like maybe a 50-50 category, but I've seen Aiden O'Connell like kind of shift in the pocket. Even though he's not mobile, he's like still keeping his composure. He's not doing like the previous quarterback did, breaking down and acting like a scared little fucking bitch. If you want me to be real with you.
You know what else he's good at? He has a fucking good deep ball. Like they're not always super accurate, but he's got a strong arm. He can throw the ball 40, 50 fucking yards. And if we have a wide receiver that's faster than Devontae, and I love Devontae, but let's be real, Devontae Adams was giving up on routes last year, not giving 110%, giving like 80, and I could fucking see it a mile away, and it pissed me off. And yeah, people are not going to like that take or whatever. And I do love Devontae. I'm wearing his fucking jersey. I got an autographed helmet of Devontae Adams. So I love Devontae. But let's be real. He's not a speedster, and he was giving up on fucking routes. So several of those deep ball routes was more on Devontae not kicking it up a gear to speed, which would have been a fucking touchdown, than it was Aiden O'Connell overthrowing Devontae. That's another positive. There are negatives. What are the negatives? He needs to work on footwork. He needs to do like Peyton Manning did in the offseason and work on his footwork, getting his feet faster in the pocket. He needs stronger feet. His feet cannot be like cinder blocks. He needs to work on his eyes, not staring down wide receivers, which has to do with your progression. But if he's going to not be a mobile style quarterback, which he's not, what Peyton Manning would do is look over here, knowing he's going to throw over here. And so Peyton Manning would go like this, and he'd look this way, and at the very last millisecond, he'd throw this way. And that's timing. You can only get that timing that I'm talking about several ways. One, you have to train your eyes and your brain not to fucking do that. Our previous quarterback, all he did was stare down wide receivers. That's why guys like Tyrann Mathieu for the fucking Chiefs would get so many interceptions against the previous quarterback, right? That's why defenses would laugh at our previous quarterback, because all he would do was stare down fucking wide receivers. If you're not a mobile quarterback and you can't roll outside, you cannot stare down your wide receivers. You have to set the defense up. You have to point your head and your eyes this way when you know you're going to throw the ball this way. You have to be able to read the defense beforehand, and you have to have timing with your wide receivers. And that takes time, patience, and lots of practice. That timing with your wide receivers to throw the last millisecond, you're talking the most closest hairs of a millisecond. You have to have timing with your wide receiver. Whereas if you're mobile, you can roll out because you're fast enough and then throw the ball, and you're athletically talented enough to do it. But guess what happens, guys? The guys like Russell Wilson that all relied on their athletic abilities for these skill traits that they have, when they get older, they suck. Why does Russell Wilson suck? Because his athletic abilities of his greatness, what made him great, he can't do, because when you're older, you're not going to be able to roll out and do the same shit. This is why Russell Wilson sucks, guys. It's just age. Father Time has gotten a hold of him. He can't do the same shit that he did before. Rolling out crazy, all running all over the place, and then throwing the ball. Now he's too old. His body can't do it. It catches up with you, man. So, all right. Let's kind of move it along. I'm going to have to skip through a bunch of this because True Raider podcast, shout out to man. Just hit that. So appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm just a hardcore patient Raider fan, man. All right. That was your comment to what Aiden O'Connell does good. So AOC looks goofy. That's why a lot of guys down him. He does look goofy, man. So did Tom Brady. So did Peyton Manning, guys. Two of the greatest to ever play the game. Go back and look at Peyton Manning in the fucking NFL Combine, dude. Or sorry, Tom Brady. Both of them, really. But especially Tom Brady. He looks like a guy that you would not. He looks like a guy bagging groceries or something, right? He doesn't look like even a baseball player. Definitely not a football player. If you go back to when Tom Brady and is like, coming into the NFL, looked like the goofiest motherfucker alive, man. Sorry, I'm a little emotional, cussing too much, but appreciate that, Gary. LB Raider 67 said we have the worst QB room in the NFL. I'm not convinced of that, man. Maybe I'm drink the Kool-Aid too much. I don't know. Raider Critique, what up, big dog? He said, not what I expected at all. You're probably talking about the draft pick. Hope you're doing good, Raider Critique. That's one of my homies, dude. It's all love, bro. He said I got alligator skin. We have two QBs from the not gonna say that. Said all right, Raider Mojo. Hopefully doing good, bro. So McConnell set O'Connell up on that Chargers game 100. Yeah, probably set him up for failure, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? Like O'Connell should have started against the Bears, guys. No, let's not forget that, man. That Bears game was critical. That Bears game probably determined McDaniels getting fired. So I'm glad the Bears game happened. So McDaniels was gone. But if you were going to start O'Connell to get like experience, it should have been the Bears game, not the Chargers game. And then if he would have started the Bears game, we probably would have won that game, and he probably would have been done better against the Chargers the first time he played the Chargers. But AOC was second best rookie last year, in my opinion. Yeah, dude, he was, dude. Like it, whether or not that's because someone got hurt or whatever. I mean, that's a fact, bro. In my opinion, let's get Joe Milton. That's what I'm saying. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into this. I just want to get caught up in the chat here real quick. Denver second. AOC is a worthless politician. Yeah, facts. That's that name AOC. Yeah, is a worthless politician, not Aiden O'Connell. So yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't care who we get as long as we win. I'm tired of every year next year, dude. Let's not forget, man. Aiden O'Connell's a good QB. Facts, bro. Facts, man. I like it. Football is the ultimate team sport, guys. It's the like there's no other sport in the world, not soccer, none of them, dude, that's as important that the team works on all cylinders. Like, yeah, there's hockey and there's basketball, and people can say those are team sports. It's not nearly as important as like football. You're only as good as your weakest link, man. You can have super studs in hockey and win games or whatever, right? Like, you know, and people can say that about football, but like, dude, like if your weak link is quarterback, right? Let's say like Aiden O'Connell's not the best quarterback or whatever. If we have a good line, if we have a good running back, a really good wide receiving core, it can elevate the game of your weak link at quarterback. You know, O'Connell will be much improved or improved this season, I believe. That's what I'm saying, man. I agree, Farva. The Bryce Young, Aiden O'Connell analogy doesn't work. Look at Bryce Young's roster. If you had the roster we had, have done way better than Aiden. Mic drop. No, dude, that's not a mic drop, dude. That's like saying, all right, let's look at basketball, right? Who's the greatest basketball player of all time? Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Let's really piss some people off. Or LeBron James, because those are probably the top three arguments that people would say, right? So if Kobe Bryant had the roster that Michael Jordan has, does Kobe Bryant win 6 rings? Kobe Bryant had a pretty good roster with Shaquille O'Neal there for a minute, you know? But, you know, one could argue, what about LeBron James? Would he have won as many championships as Michael Jordan if he had the same roster that Jordan had? I don't know, man. You tell me. You be the judge, you tell me. But essentially what you're saying is if the Panthers suck and Bryce Young sucks because of their team, and you're right, it is the ultimate team sport, but you're saying that Bryce Young isn't going to do like it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? You're saying Bryce Young sucks because his team sucks. You're saying Aiden O'Connell sucks because Aiden O'Connell sucks, but Raiders have a good team. So I don't know. Maybe I didn't analyze that correctly, but I don't know. It's just kind of interesting, man. I thought it was Trey Tucker. AOC is or O'Connell is a backup QB on any other team in the league. Jordan Travis 4th or 5th. Broken ankle. No ligament damage was done. He'll fall due to that. Oh, I got you. Okay, Jordan Travis, the quarterback. But Young went before Hooker too. I think you're talking about Bryce Young. O'Connell stayed to work on his game all offseason, so I believe he'll be a surprise this year. That's what I'm saying. I think he just needs a chance, guys. I really do. Play worthless politician. Oh, well, play a worthless politician because I think Aiden O'Connell is just as worthless. Damn, bro. Man. He said that was the old regime. Only Raider fan thinks we can win a Super Bowl with a 4th rounder backup QB. I mean, man, dude, imagine if you got like a guy in the 7th round. Imagine if you got a guy in the 7th round, the last pick in the draft, dude. And, you know, that dude ends up being a guy to lead a team to a NFC championship and a Super Bowl. Who would that guy be, man? Imagine being a guy picked in the 5th or 6th round and winning like 6 Super Bowls. Man, who would that guy be? Amazing, bro. Amazing, bro. Tom Brady, Brock Purdy. He will take shots and not buckle under pocket pressure. Facts. Aiden, Sean, Murphy, O'Connell. 49er QB Pews need top. You don't need a top tier QB. DC4. I don't want Derek Carr, guys. I don't. I mean, he's way overpaid. He should have taken a pay cut if you want to stay on our team. He chose his fate. So yeah, I'm not pounding the table. I want Carr back, dude. Sorry. I love you, but nah, man. He ain't worth 37 mil. Just like Dak Prescott coming up here ain't worth 50 plus mil, man. Manning holds record for most interceptions by a rookie with 28. Yeah. Yeah, 20. Imagine that, guys. Let's marinate on that. Imagine getting 28 interceptions, especially as high picked as Peyton Manning was. Wasn't he like first overall or whatever? Or definitely top 5 by the Colts. And you throw 28 interceptions your first year. Everybody thought Manning was going to be a bust. He goes on to win a Super Bowl for the Colts and win a Super Bowl with the Broncos. And he took the Broncos to 2 Super Bowls. So, yeah. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, Jeff George, yeah, he sucked. Yeah, facts, bro. People think Jeff George was like a good quarterback, dude. He sucked, man. I'm sorry. I hated Jeff George, but that's just me. No, you gotta watch the tape, bro. You gotta watch the tape more at 10-day. I'm sorry, man. It was O'Connell statue. He's throwing the ball away because he takes 9 years to throw and read progressions. We'll see, bro. Okay, dude, you guys are welcome to your own opinion, man. By all means. Question asked, question answered. O'Connell can deal. He needs more reps. It's about rhythm and confidence. Yeah, and timing, bro. That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm not saying it's going to be the next Peyton Manning. I'm saying give the dude a shot, dude. We don't know. We don't know, man. It's been 1 year, half a year. And most guys sucked their first year like Peyton Manning did, dude. We just don't know. I'm saying don't write I'm usually pretty opinionated. I'm like, about like, oh, get rid of this guy or whatever. I'm saying just give the dude a chance. We don't know what we have, dude. Like people like spouting off all this, dude. His rookie year, dude. You guys have unrealistic expectations, man. Unrealistic expectations, man. You don't know. You don't know. If O'Connell worked on his feet, like I said, and his eyes this offseason, which you can do through quarterback training and in the offseason, worked on those 2 things, he will be maybe not 2 times better. I'd say like 1.5 times better than he was last year. Just those 2 elements. If he didn't, then shame on him. And yeah, he might not do very good. But if he did what the fuck I said, and I said this when the season ended, what he needs to work on, if he worked on those things, he's going to be a whole lot better. Let's not forget, dude, Peyton Manning, if you go back to the Hard Knocks, you can go rewatch that series. Peyton Manning was there at our practice. He was trying to help Derek Carr. He was trying to tell, I don't know exactly what he was saying, but what I believe Peyton Manning was trying to tell Derek Carr in one of the Raiders practices back then, when the Raiders were on Hard Knocks, I think Peyton Manning was trying to tell Derek Carr about not staring down wide receivers and about your footwork. And Derek Carr wouldn't even let Peyton Manning talk. And Derek Carr was just, yeah, and talking over Peyton Manning like Derek Carr knew everything. Dude, Peyton Manning was one of the greatest to ever play the game. Whether you liked him or not, it don't matter, dude. He was a damn good quarterback. And we had a previous quarterback that would not take lessons or hear what Peyton Manning had to say. You have a guy like that, you shut your fucking mouth, no matter how old you are, and you just listen. You just listen to what they're trying to tell you. And if Derek Carr had gotten those 2 things out of Peyton Manning's playbook, meaning footwork and eyes, he would have been 3 times better of a quarterback. But he couldn't. He was too prideful. And to all the Carr lovers are going to fucking hate me, I don't fucking care. This is a reality check moment. And I saw that shit in Hard Knocks, and it pissed me off. Derek Carr should have shut his fucking mouth and been able to get, schooling from one of the best to ever play the game. And he didn't want to do that. And a 2-time Super Bowl champion. If Bryce had the same roster, whoa, dude, woulda, coulda, shoulda, dude. If Derek Carr would have been on the fucking what team you want to pick, bro. The 2000 Ravens, then Derek Carr would have won a Super Bowl. If Derek Carr would have been on the Rams, the year the Rams went to the Super Bowl, he would have won a Super Bowl. If Derek Carr would have been on the Chiefs last year, he would have won a Super Bowl. If Derek Carr, blah blah blah, bro, get the fuck out of here, man. If the Raiders and the Tuck game never happened, we go on win 3 Super Bowls, bro. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? This is not good football takes, bro. No, I'm not doing it anymore, bro. You want to do that shit, dude? Then fine. I'm just gonna skip over it, bro. Because it's just getting to the point where it's just like fucking. I'm just like repeating a dead drum, bro. I love O'Connell. He was able to do for us last year, multiple times. Not even asking. If John Gruden doesn't get fired, we win a Super Bowl. If Henry Ruggs doesn't hit and kill a person, we win a Super Bowl, dude. I mean, fuck, man. Which is probably true and accurate, but it didn't fucking happen. So who gives a fuck, man? The Panthers traded up because they have a shitty team. They sucked that year, and they got a guy that they thought is going to be a good quarterback in Bryce Young, who's a fucking short midget, and he isn't a good quarterback. Bryce Young shouldn't have been drafted first overall. It should have been C.J. Stroud. AP said multiple times that we're not asking Aiden to go out and win games for us. That could change, though, man. Appreciate that. Hit the like button. See if we can get up to 100, man. We're almost up to 100. J-Dog in the house. So we're going to draft another QB in the 4th again. We're going to get into that. So if I can get caught up here, I don't even know if I'm going to get caught up. But, yeah, we got to get caught up here. And then got to get in the 2nd, 3rd round. So I have to skip a lot of this, guys. But I apologize if I skip your comment. A good thing I saw. Can't run for shit. I mean, dude, a lot of people have some good takes. But it's just like, yeah, good to see you too, J-Dog. Kyle Luda. It's 2024. Let's forget about the last 4 already. He hit the ceiling, where he's going to be, wishing the best. Yeah. No, I know, dude. I don't even want to talk about Carr either, but it always comes up. Like, it's like I think too many people are brainwashed by a certain take, whether they're for or against him. I don't know, bro. But yeah, I don't want this to be about it, but like, we also have to have a like reality check of like where we're at, you know? Yeah. Mahomes does look goofy and sound goofy. Facts, bro. Yeah. He's like, you ever watch that guy walk? You just watch Mahomes walk, his walk, like mannerism. You're like, there's no way that guy's going to be able to throw a touchdown, let alone run for 1 or run for 10, 15 yards. And he does it, man. I think, so that's what I'm saying, man. I think O'Connell, with what he's been through, and this, I just have a weird feeling about him, guys. Sorry, my neck thing's all, I don't know, man. I just have a weird feeling that O'Connell, he's like got something different in him, man. You know, like his brother dying. I don't know if I said son, I meant brother, but his brother passing away when he was in college, you know, may rest in peace. And O'Connell playing and what he's been through. I mean, damn, bro. I mean, you know, if you lost somebody, like you would know like what that kind of does and could do to your like mental mindset, dude. I think he's a fighter and he's not giving up, man. You know what I mean? And he welcomed the you know, O'Connell welcomed the challenges and the competition in the quarterback room. He didn't shy away from it. You know, that takes some balls, man. No, I'm not going to read anymore, dude. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. I gotta get caught up so we can move on to the next topic, man. I'm not even like, it's just like, it's not good. We're just kind of revisiting the same topics, bro. You know? All right, Mahomes actually cried on Christmas that week. Bro, not used to losing, man. That's facts, bro. Our defense won that game. That's you know, facts. But yeah. Let's see. All right, Troy Gill said in May, but like talk stuff, keep it up, and like pick a Bowers. Appreciate that, Troy. Thanks for tuning in, bro. All right, let's see what this one says. All right, Black and Grade out. Salute, man. He said O'Connell is not is unmobile. He did what the system dictated. Go watch the tape. He can run, or Mobile can throw on the run. I have seen him do it, and O'Connell can move. Wasn't asked to do it once again. That's system last year. Yeah, dude. Like we just like We don't know, guys. There's so many more question marks, dude. We've written him off before we've even given him a chance, man. And if you know, to what's his name? You know, if 10-Day ends up being right, then so be it, man. You know, and not that I want the Raiders to lose or anything, or like, you know what I mean? Like, start Aiden O'Connell to prove me right. But we have yet to see. We have to see it, guys. And if we see it, then we'll know. But we can't write the book before it's done. It's not like this guy's a 3-4 year vet, a guy we paid 2 contracts to. We started for 9 fucking years. We don't know. And that's what pisses me off. I'm just saying, if it don't fit your narrative of the new modern style quarterback, it doesn't mean like the way some Raider fans are. And I've been this way too, but I'm not doing that this year. I'm not writing the season off that we're going to be a 6-win team if Aiden O'Connell is our quarterback. I'm being way more optimistic than that because I think we have a good team and I think we got a chance to go on a Super Bowl run. And we'll see what we do in the second, third round. It's going to be important, guys. We got to nail the second, third round. I mean, you said if O'Connell's good, what happened against the Vikings? It's not that I want to be a butt kisser of Aiden O'Connell. I don't. That was a terrible game. It was. Okay. And he's got a lot of learning and growing to do as young NFL players do. And a rookie, most rookies don't even start, let alone guys that you got in the 4th round. Okay. And what happened the next week? We got 63 points and 2 or 3 of those touchdowns was on the defense. But the next week, Aiden O'Connell balled out and the Raiders freaking destroyed the Chargers. So that's what happened the following week, which is good. If he was so trash, here's what should have happened. If Aiden O'Connell's a trash quarterback, we lose to the Vikings, we don't score 1 offensive point, and then we go play the Chargers and we get smoked. Let alone we don't get, 40-something points from our quarterback. Aiden O'Connell balled out the following week. That's what good quarterbacks, good people do. You know, something happens terrible, they learn from it, they grow, and the next week they go and they prove that they're good. If he was trash, he would not have balled out the next week. He just wouldn't have. I'm sorry, man. Goreb said, my man, we have the worst QB. We have X. I was waiting for Warreb to come in here because he's always got this. For years he's been talking about we need a stud quarterback. NFL worst XFL compared to the league problem with O'Connell and Minshew is inconsistent. Is not the here and there play. That's bad as it gets. Never enough. And to Warreb's credit, he's been talking about the quarterback position, and a lot of us have, that we've needed a stud quarterback for a long time, and that we're going to continue to struggle until essentially the Raiders get NFL darling that everybody wants to root for in the NFL, like a CJ Stroud or like a Joe Burrow or like a Mahomes or whatever. And until we do, the NFL is not going to let us win. That's kind of been his stance, and he's been consistent on it. I'll say that. You could argue with him, but at least he's been like consistent, hasn't shied away from that. O'Connell should have started out if the gay AP and the rest of the team knew that, which is why as soon as AP took over, he announced in the way he did. Honestly, like I knew there was probably going to be a divide in the quarterback room. I didn't think it was going to be this great. He's the worst QB in the NFL. Damn, bro. Oh, yeah. I said, don't forget we scored 63 points on the Chargers. Team didn't have Herbert. All right. No, that's a fair point. I forgot about that. You're right. I apologize. I did forget about that. But so, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, dude. You're talking about, I'm not going to get into that. You're talking about like players wanting to quit on their team and just like cancel. I ain't doing that. All right, let's see. The last boy said MJ played in harder era. If he played in his own prime, average 50 a game with all the foul calls. Yeah, bro. Yeah. I mean, to me, I think Michael Jordan was the best player to ever live as far as basketball goes. And I'm not even a big basketball guy, but like what Michael Jordan was doing was next level stuff. Everybody is a coattail rider of what Michael Jordan did, dude. You know what I mean? Megatron, Barry Sanders was on the same sorry-ass organizations, but they're Hall of Famers and household names. Ask anyone. Yeah, facts, bro. Facts, man. So draft another in the 4th round. Good luck. Said Bowers is a grit and grinder if I ever seen one. Facts, man. That's funny because I was thinking of Spider 2Y banana or Spider Y2 banana or whatever the hell it's called. Like now that we have those two, but Warreb said, remember when I predicted 6-11 record 2 years ago? And the Raiders will win 7 games this year. Oh, here we go. I don't want to get into the records yet, man. The last boy Brady was 6th-round pick. Purdy was last pick. Come on, man. If you're talking to me or back when I know I'm like behind. I'm trying to get caught up here. Manning was a Heisman QB, broke all the records. You can't compare Manning to Brady and AOC or O'Connell. I mean, that's subjective, bro, because Manning, yeah, you're right. Manning was expected to go high in the draft, be a good quarterback. So you're right on that. Brady was not. Brady was like some guy nobody thought about, fell to the 6th round or whatever the hell it was. And then, all of a sudden comes on the scene because Drew Bledsoe got hurt and proved he was a really good quarterback. O'Connell is more of a Brady, and Brady's more of like an O'Connell style than Brady was a Peyton Manning, because nobody expected Brady to be the GOAT, dude. So that's not exactly accurate assessment, in my opinion. So fuck it. The team your guys ass. My team is better than. Oh man. I don't know. Yeah, dude. Whatever, man. People are clowns, bro. Not saying you, but yeah, if I got mods in here, if you guys need to do what you gotta do, do what you gotta do. Go watch kids preseason. If you watch, he looks like with the reps, his teammates, he's a timing and rhythm QB. Yeah, man. Shotty Tom said O'Connell's a smart dude. Raiders money line. We're gonna be explosive this year. The offense, I think we are too. Money Mike, I do too, man. I'm staying positive, man. Last year I was negative because the previous regime and the game plan. Even if we have to keep O'Connell, dude, I'm not shying away from it. We ain't last place, no excuses. We want QB away from a ready team. Just need to build the O line. Yeah, I feel that. I agree with you 100% on that. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or if you're being honest, but like that's where I'm at, bro. We have a good team, dude. We should be in a win now mode. Yeah, yes. Like with a lot of the guys we have. Damn, I gotta hurry up. I gotta leave here soon. All right, Las Vegas Raiders. All right, Raider Rick. O'Connell was handcuffed by McDumas. 7 points, sophisticated offense. Yeah. We have it. Hopefully, Luke Getsy, our offensive coordinator, we develop an offense around the skill sets of O'Connell, and we let his wings fly, and then let's see what happens. And if the people that are anti-O'Connell end up being right, then so be it. We need to go back to the drawing board and figure something out or have a plan B, but we don't know, right? And so I like that, man. Let's set him up for success. The previous regime set him up for failure. What did McDumass say? Oh, this isn't preseason anymore. That's what our head coach said about our starting quarterback, that we want to win games and try to take us to the playoffs. He said this is not preseason anymore. The amount of disrespect, and you could argue on the flip side, well, maybe that's because he wasn't confident in our quarterback and that he thought that O'Connell sucks or something. Well, if that's your take, why the fuck did he draft him? And didn't we move up to get O'Connell in the fourth round, if I remember right? I mean, and the guy was a dumbass. So either take is comparing it with Josh fucking McDumass is not a good take. But I'm just saying, yeah, take care of it. Are you a mod critique? Let me. Where's my phone? Give me a second. I don't think I can do it through StreamYard, but let me. I don't think I can do it through StreamYard, but let me give me a second here. If you're still in here, I'm gonna fix this critique. Yeah, way behind. Give me a second, guys. Oop.
All right, there you go. All right, Critique and Rebel Raider are mods now. Don't clap anybody unless you absolutely have to. You know what I mean? Like, I want everybody to have free speech and stuff. You know what I mean? So, like, don't clap 10 day or any of that, even though we're having a difference of opinion. You know what I mean? Only people are like in here just to troll and clown and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So even though I made you guys mods, just like, you know, only do it if like that's like last resort. Had no chance being great. Still did a good job. Yeah, facts, bro. All right, agree. O'Connell, Garner compete and count. May the best man win. I'll support whoever it is. Yeah, and that's where I'm at, guys. Dude, I'm not saying O'Connell's going to be the next coming of Peyton Manning, dude. Like, I'm just saying, like, let's give him a shot. We don't know, man. We just don't know, man. You know what I mean? That's how I feel, guys. Is like, put up more points I've ever seen. Yep. Rebel salute. All right, so I made you a mod. We'll see him hitting the bench. I'm telling you. All right, man. We'll see, bro. If you're right, I'll eat humble pie. Spencer Rattler, Joe. I know we got to get into it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to just scroll down, and I'm gonna miss guys. Dude, I'm sorry, guys. True BPA. So shout out to Isaiah, man. And then South Dakota Raider. What up, big dog? Said, all right, last year I said Garoppolo was ass before the season started. Soon we picked him up. I'm gonna say it again. O'Connell is ass. He is not the dude. And if he's not, then you know what? Like let's look at if that's where we sit. Let's look at who we want like in the draft, right? Is there anybody, whether it's like, just to me, the two left, or someone already said, I pointed up, but are Spencer Rattler, Joe Milton. I think both those guys have potential. So, like, if you guys were to choose for a quarterback, so let's have plan A, plan B, and plan C. Right now, plan A, you could argue whether it's Minshew or O'Connell, that's plan A, right? And then, one of those two, starter, backup, and let's have a third option, which would be the quarterback, Spencer Rattler, Joe Milton, or like some people were saying about Travis, what's his name? So, Raider Big, shout out to Big Dog, said, is no one willing to trade up? Trade, there's no QB in the draft. What the hell? We can do our hands tied. We took a stud player, can't miss prospect. This is going to open up the middle of the field for us. Yeah, facts, bro. And I kind of touched that when I opened up here. Minshew Mania, Pro Bowler. Let's get it, man. Got a lot of people here in the chat. Appreciate it. Is Raiders struggling red zone? How many points was left on the board? Was not a touchdown. Yeah, facts, bro. That's what I opened it up talking about, or when I went into the positives about getting Brock Bowers was our red zone should improve. So, yeah, Rebel Raiders. Facts, bro. All right. It says shout out from the Bay. Salute, man. Said a lot of picks left in the draft. We will address the offensive line defense. Great pick yesterday with Bowers. 2 tight end sets. Let's fucking go, Raiders. I love it, man. Shout out to the Bay, big dog. Yeah, man. I was a little like perturbed at first, but I kind of slept on it, dude. I think it's going to help us, man, especially with the quarterback room we got right now. Sean Ryan said, "Hey, Raider Nation, this Brock Bowers is going to smack the fuck out of the AFC West. Watch out. Get ready to gloat like a mofo." Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Unknown Raider guy. Salute. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Unknown Raider guy. Hello. I appreciate it, man. I hear Brady wants to come back. Yeah, I kind of briefly, well, I didn't really touch on it, but I just said the 2 tight end sets, it could be Brady-esque. We'd have to get to the playoffs, and then I think there might be a chance that, Brady coming back. All right, we're going to have to kind of go through this quick, man. Hey, it's a good debate, right? Whether you guys agree with me or 10-day or whoever, what side of the fence, it is a good debate. Like, to be honest with you guys. So, even though I don't always agree with everybody, I like a good debate. And 10-day made some good points. Other people in here made some good points about the weaknesses of Aiden O'Connell. But it's not all doom and gloom, And I just wanted to point out some of the positive stuff I felt like from O'Connell, if that's going to be our only option, okay? Or, the option moving forward. And it's not all doom and gloom to me. All right, so we're going to have to roll through this quick. But I love you guys, man. It's all love, dude. It's like straight up. So, all right, we got to get into, let me pull my notes real quick. The second round, we're going to review the draft order. I got to do this in like 10 minutes, guys. So it's not going to be as in-depth as I wanted. Before we move on, not just so I don't forget, there's a wide receiver I want like in the 4th or 5th round, and that's wide receiver Ainias Smith from Texas A&M. He had an injury going back a year ago,
But wide receiver Anaya Smith from Texas A&M would be a good sneaky pick in the 4th or 5th round. He's got big legs. He's similar to Trey Tucker. I think his hands are better. His lower body is stronger. And I think he's more like a Deebo Samuel style. And I think he's got potential to be like a Tyreek Hill. He was dealing with an injury during the combine, so he wasn't really able to produce like I thought he was going to. But if you look up Anaya Smith from Texas A&M, it could be a sneaky steal of a draft pick in the 4th or 5th round. So I know we're just going to go into the 2nd, 3rd round coming up here, but I just don't want to forget Anaya Smith because I'm telling you, that's my guy. Whoever gets whatever team gets him, I think is going to be a steal of a pick, and I think he's going to be a really good player. So it would suck because he is kind of similar skill sets as Trey Tucker, but he's a really good prospect in my opinion. And I've been watching this dude for over a year. I wanted the Raiders to get him last year, but he got hurt and he did another year of college. So I thought he was going to come out last year in last year's draft. All right, so let's get into this here real quick, guys. All right, this is the draft order. As you guys can see, the 2nd round draft order. So I'll kind of read it here real quick. Raiders are number 44 overall. It's like right here. So we're like 12th. Okay. So if you look at this team, I'm going to call out the teams real quick. Starting in the 2nd round, the first pick is the Panthers and the Patriots, the Cardinals, Commanders, Chargers, Titans, Giants, the Bears, Commanders and Packers, Texans, Falcons, and then the Raiders. But the point is this. All these teams that pick before the Raiders, I don't know why it won't let me highlight it, but all these teams that pick before the Raiders don't need a quarterback. The Panthers don't, the Patriots don't, the Cardinals don't, Commanders, Chargers, Titans, all those teams should be pretty well set as far as the quarterback position goes. Now, could a team trade ahead with one of these other teams to try to get a Spencer Rattler or if there's another guy? Yes. I don't know, looking at this, trying to be objective, I like Spencer Rattler. I think he offers a lot to whatever team gets him or potential or whatnot. I don't know if I would trade up to get Spencer Rattler. If he falls to you, then I would highly consider it at 44. Here's the caveat of what I'm going to say about getting a quarterback right now. Because the way that things fell and the things evolved and the us getting a tight end in the 1st round versus say like offensive tackle, which would have been my choice, or given the board, it was offensive tackle, how the board fell, but offensive tackle or cornerback would have been 2nd. So tight end wasn't on my radar, but given the fact we didn't go offensive line, I don't know that you go quarterback this round. If we go quarterback in the 2nd round, even if we don't trade up or we just stay put or whatever, it's a tough place for me to even though I like Spencer Rattler, it's a tough place knowing how bad the needs are for offensive line. So I think Raiders should really get offensive linemen, or maybe like Keeley or Kool-Aid or whatever from Alabama might be a good pick for cornerback. But we got to address this offensive line. If we're going in a 3rd, 4th round and we haven't addressed the offensive line still, it's I'm going to freak out. I'll be honest, you guys. I'm not going to be happy. We cannot be going into the 4th round and not have addressed the offensive line and got at least a player, even if they're not a starter at this point. At this point, a lot of the studs are gone. It's supposed to be a deep offensive tackle and offensive lineman draft. But dude, we just can't be going later in the draft and we haven't solved the offensive line issue, especially if we're sticking with Aiden O'Connell. It's almost like the more you have a pocket passer that's not mobile, the better your offensive line should be. And we haven't addressed it. So what I'm going to say in round 2, I really want the Raiders to go offensive tackle. And I got to kind of speed through this. So I'm sure you guys have a lot of good takes. So I apologize. I'm not going to be able to get to a lot of people. So if we go offensive tackle in the 2nd round, then I would target Joe Milton in the 3rd round. Joe Milton for Tennessee, he might go in the 2nd round by maybe the Cowboys or so let's look at real quick. I'll pull it up because this is important. Let's look at the other teams after the Raiders pick that might want a quarterback because this is important. Okay. And I think it's more important than going through all the players and stuff. Just, but Saints, could they go quarterback? Possibly. Colts, no. Giants, I don't think they are because they give Mac Jones a big contract. Some people say Giants could go quarterback. Jags, Bengals, no. Eagles, no. Steelers, questionable. Probably not though. But Steelers could possibly go quarterback there. Eagles, Browns, no, they got DTR. I don't think Browns would. Dolphins, I think Dolphins are going to have to pay Tua. I don't think Dolphins are going to be going quarterback. They're probably going to pay to Tampa Bay. I'm going to say no. Packers have Jordan Love, going to be under contract after this year, so probably not. Texans, no. Bills, no. Lions, no. They got Hendon Hooker and Jared Goff, going to say no. Ravens have Lamar Jackson. I'm going to say no on that. 49ers and Chiefs. So the two, actually, I think I said no to Cowboys. I said that wrong. The two we should be looking at that concern me, if you want a quarterback to fall to you in the third round, would be Cowboys here at 56. Are the Cowboys going to consider getting a quarterback, especially because Dak Prescott, his contract is up after this year? Cowboys is a team that could go quarterback, and then the Seahawks. I don't remember if the Seahawks have a second-round pick or not. Let me see. So I guess the Seahawks don't have a second-round pick. And then the third round, so let's go into the third round here real quick, guys. The third round, Raiders pick 13th in the third round. Right here, 77. And you got Panthers. I'm just going to scroll through these teams. Jets. Maybe the Jets look for a quarterback in the third round. Maybe. I mean, other than the Jets, unless the team trades ahead of us, it's possible a guy like Joe Milton will be available in the third round. Some people say Joe Milton is a fourth or fifth round quarterback. I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to fall that far, but maybe I'm wrong. And then look at the Seahawks. So if we don't get a quarter, though, here's the point. If we don't get a quarterback by our pick in the third round, if the Seahawks or the Cowboys or someone else don't trade up, the Seahawks might go looking for a quarterback in round 3. You know, they got Geno Smith, and they're probably going to want to draft somebody they can develop. So I would look for the Seahawks possibly to target a quarterback in the third round. So then it comes down to this. Do you want either Spencer Rattler, Milton, or Travis, what's his name, as a possible, growth and development style quarterback, and do you think second round is too high and too rich for a quarterback? Or do you think we should wait till the third round? Those are like my questions. So for me, I think because of what we did in the first round, I think second round, we got to pause on the quarterback, even though we all know we need it. And we just went through this big argument about Aiden O'Connell, all this stuff, dude. I'm not disagreeing. We should address the quarterback position still. I just think we got to go offensive tackle, maybe cornerback right here, and then in the second round, and then see what quarterbacks are available in the third round. And, I don't think Joe Milton's going to fall to the fourth round. If he were, and you could get Joe Milton in the fourth round, I think that's a steal. I would absolutely pull the trigger on that. But I would also consider a Joe Milton quarterback in the third round. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm leaning, is more offensive tackle in the second round. And then the third round, maybe address the quarterback position. And if you don't have quarterbacks there in the third round that you like, then go cornerback. Okay. I think our cornerback room is good, but we definitely got to address this offensive line. If we don't, I don't care what quarterback we have, even if we would have got Penix Jr. or something, or Jane Daniels, we'd still have this question mark at our offensive line. And the fact that we have, as of right now, more of a pocket passer style quarterback room, I don't see how we cannot address this offensive line issue like ASAP. And so my main take going to second round, all right, my emotions have tempered. I'm cool with the pick, Brock Bowers, but if we go, if we come out of day 2, second and third round without an offensive lineman, I'm not going to be happy. I'm probably going to freak out. Right. If we come out of the second round with offensive lineman, I'm happy. Right. Does that mean he's best player available? No, I'm not saying that. But if we go best player available and it's a safety, or maybe it's being a cornerback, I don't think Kool-Aid will be there by the time we pick. But if we truly do the best player available and we're going in, like I said, to the 4th, 5th round, we're going to have issues. Okay. And here's my problem with Tom Telesco. I said a lot of positive stuff about him, or whatever, tried to. Okay. He's good in the first round. He has shown that he's not always good in the later round draft picks, whereas like a Gruden and Mayock weren't good in the first round, but they were good later in the draft, right? Don't forget, we got Max Crosby in the 4th round. So you can find steals in the second and the third round. It's up to Tom Telesco to find who's going to be best for the Raiders in these next 2 rounds. These are critical. This is judgment time. So when I went off and I was speculating and I was talking about our head coach having this look on his face that does not look like a happy man, to say the least, we need to come out of the second round where his look and his demeanor has changed. And I don't mean like changed fake. He should be real about it. But, you know, this isn't rocket science. We all know what we need and what the Raiders need. And so if we come out of this baby and we're like, damn, dude, we still haven't addressed the things we need, it's going to suck. So real quick here, I got maybe like 3 to 5 minutes and I got to bounce out, guys. But I'll share this with you guys real quick. And this isn't exactly best players available. I know that, guys, but like this is their mock draft or whatever, you know, kind of deal. And so this just kind of shows some of a lot of their rankings for best player available is not accurate. I'll be honest with you guys, but they have Johnny Newton, Cooper Dijon, Kool-Aid McKinstry. So I know that's a lot like a player a lot of people are going to look at. I think you'd have to trade up to get Kool-Aid. I kind of like Kool-Aid. I mean, that's a badass name. Imagine having a dude in a Raiders uniform, like, you know, or, you know, calling out, you know, Kool-Aid or whatever. But so 5'11", 199. Not going to read his bio right now, but so that's a player I think would be good to look at. Here's a center. Oh, this is what someone was saying earlier. Jackson Powers Johnson, offensive center who could probably play like a guard, 6'3", 328, out of Oregon. Arion Mitchell. I don't know if I'd go wide receiver that high, dude. Some might, but here's an offensive tackle from BYU. Sua Matea, 6'4", 326. BYU. Offensive guard Christian Haynes, 6'2", 317, out of UConn. So these can be some of the guys I'm looking for. I hope we come out of the second round with offensive linemen. 6'2", 313, even if it's a developmental guy. It doesn't have to be like, I'm not even saying a day one starter at this point. Day one starters is for round one. Round two, you know, yeah, it'd be nice to get a starter round two, but let's just get a guy that like can rotate and help our offensive line issue. If we start the season without fixing this offensive line, it's going to not be good, right? So for all the stuff we talked about, Aiden O'Connell and stuff, if we go into this year and the season starts and we have the same questions at the offensive line that we had last year going into the year, knowing we had offensive line issues, it's going to be a problem, right? So, I mean, we got to address it. Even if we're drafting a guy a little bit earlier than we want to, even if it means we're not getting cornerback or Kool-Aid, we have guys that I think are going to be good. Obviously, we have Nate Hobbs, Jack Jones at the cornerback position, and then, you know, for third on the list, you know, I would say Jacorian Bennett. I think Jacorian Bennett, you know, is yet to be proven, but I think he's got potential, dude. So, like, I'm not writing off the cornerback room that we're doomsday there either. So if we go O-line now and then cornerback next round, I think we're going to be all right, guys. I really do. So real quick, I'll put this up. This will be the last two things I share real quick will be the stats in case you guys wanted to look at this. Because I got like maybe like 3 minutes. I got to wrap up. And everybody, I apologize. I did want to finish reading comments. This is probably more important than the stuff I was talking about before, really. I mean, this is like wanted to be my main focus is kind of see what you guys thought going into this round or whatever. But here's Spencer Rattler, you know, 6'1", 217 Spencer Rattler. This is probably a more important topic than the Aiden O'Connell stuff. I probably wasted way too much time on that, but I apologize. So, all right. So 2023, he did have the record for like the most completions or something like that in the 2 years with that school, or completion percentage or something, 68.9. That's pretty good. 3,186 yards, not like terribly great, but not, I would say it's not great and not terrible. It's like probably mediocre to average. His average 8 yards, and then touchdowns. He had 19. Interceptions, he had 8. That is not a good touchdown interception ratio. And then to see if there's consistency in that, the year before he had 12 interceptions and only 18 touchdowns. So part of that could be a school that maybe isn't as good. Part of that could be decision making, about the same amount of yards, okay, but with a lot more touchdowns. He's willing to take chances, it looks like, but those interceptions are not good if I'm just being real about it, okay? So those are some negatives with Spencer Rattler. The other thing that I think was a negative, go back to that. The other thing that I think was a negative is just looking at his size. You know, I think he's actually about 6 foot and he's probably about like 210 pounds. So he's kind of a smaller quarterback. I'm usually
Right now, you can get any large pizza for just $12 from
oh, sorry, I'm getting an ad pop.
Pizza Hut. Any pizza, any crust, $12. That means meat lovers, supreme, or create your own with any toppings, just $12. This deal won't last.
Sorry, I had to close that because it was pissing me off. Ad pops up. So that was Spencer Rattler, and then let's look at Joe Milton real quick. And this will be the last thing I'll be able to touch on before I have to get out of here. All right, guys. So here's Joe Milton, okay, as like my third round prospect, 6'5", 235. So he's got the size. I don't like 6 foot like quarterbacks. I don't like midget quarterbacks that can't see over the offensive line. Spencer Rattler does have potential, but he is a smaller quarterback. He's very mobile, but those interceptions kind of scare me. So Joe Milton is a guy that got to play a little bit last year. As far as like when Hendon Hooker got hurt, he got to come in. And he did pretty good. He got 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and I forget how many games, like the last maybe 3 games or something like that. But this was not a whole season, so you can't base Joe Milton's production off of 2022 because Hendon Hooker was starting for Tennessee then. But the thing I like right here is like the interceptions to the touchdown ratio. It's not nearly as severe as what we've seen in Spencer Rattler. And yeah, his yards weren't quite as good, 2,800 or whatever. Completion percentage wasn't as good as Spencer Rattler, but the thing I like about Milton is that he is a project. He's got the size. If you get a guy like Joe Milton in the third round as a project QB, it's like there's no pressure for him to start. Okay. I think you get some of the qualities for those that want a mobile or a running-ish style quarterback. And I think he's got potential. Now, would you make that same move in the third round? No. Now, third or fourth round, I would highly consider a Joe Milton prospect. Some would say third round is too high for him. But when you have teams drafting behind you, like I showed in the third round, like a Seahawks, I don't think he's getting past the Seahawks. And maybe I'm wrong or whatever, but I think someone's going to target Joe Milton like in the third round if they see that he's got potential. You know what I mean? But DK, shout out to you, man. So, needs are the second, third round cornerback, right tackle. If you want to take a flyer on QB, it's got to be a fourth. And that's kind of where I'm at, bro. You know what I mean? It's just like, just looking at this, like, even though we argued and stuff, it was good banter, good debate. I don't always like the banter, you know what I mean? Sometimes, but like, at least we weighed a lot of different like scenarios and options. I tried my best to weigh the pros and cons with the draft pick, to try to look at things from all angles, right? Try to my best not to let my emotions get the best of me, even though I do sometimes. But and then going into the next rounds, what's the best case scenario? If we would have gone different with our first round, then I think, like I would have maybe been leaning more towards go quarterback in the second round, because the way that we went in the first round, I'm leaning on kind of what what's his name said. I apologize. DK said about waiting till the fourth round to get a quarterback, which is real similar to the Aiden O'Connell pick. But I think that's the smarter move at this point. We go O-line first, depending on who's on the board. At this point, I don't even care if we move up if we think it's a good lineman, you know what I mean? But go O-line first with our first pick in the second round, and then go cornerback. Some are going to say go cornerback, trade, cornerback. Sorry, that was a little stuffy. So go CB, right, and get Kool-Aid, and then in the maybe after that go O-line. But I just feel like we just can't have a situation where we're going into the next round and then the following round. We haven't addressed the offensive line. We're just going best player available. We haven't addressed a real need that we need. And we're going to see that same look for Antonio Pierce if we don't do that. You know what I mean? So, but I appreciate you guys, man. Greg Atkins, man. Appreciate you, Greg, man, dude. Appreciate you, Raider Critique, my big dog, dude. Much love, bro. No QB second. Yeah, guys, I'm like, dude, we have a lot of things to be excited for. Even though me and Tende don't like always agree on stuff or whatever, dude, I still love him, bro. Like straight up, like we've gone back and forth, and like, you know what, time will pass or whatever. We will calm down and like revisit the situation, right? Look, let's be real as I end this. None of these scenarios are ideal. Jane Daniels would have been ideal. Penix Jr. falling to 13 would have been ideal. We're in an unideal situation. That's the way the cookie crumbled. Like, I hate to put it that way. It sucks. But like, those were my first two options. And I didn't want to trade up for Penix Jr. like we started the show out. But what I'll say is like I'm still like I guess optimistic and confident that we still have a lot of options on the table. But they could fuck it up. We could still fuck this up. Like, right? Let's be real, And that is, we got to go offensive line. Even, at this point, even if it's not best player available, let's just, if it's a guy that we feel we can develop and that would be a future starter, let's pull the trigger, even if it's a little early. I'm okay pulling the trigger right now on offensive linemen a little bit early because it's something we have to figure out. It's at this point, the biggest need, the biggest Tetris missing piece to the puzzle. And if we don't figure it out, and if we don't get a guy that's going to be a difference maker, whether it's now or in the near future, they fucked it up. And Tom Telesco hasn't always done good in the later rounds. So yeah, we pat him on the back for round 1. All right, let's see what he can do now. And hopefully he proves it to us that he does a good job. And if not, then we'll come back and maybe I'm fired up, pissed off. We'll see. And I'm not sure if I'm going to go live during the draft. I might. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, if I do, you guys tune in here. I'll try to post it up. But never a million years did I thought that many QBs would go. Landed us a superstar though. Yeah, I'm with it. Hell yeah, Jimmy Guns, dude. Salute, bro. All right, guys, appreciate you, dude. Much love. Let's go Raiders, man. Got my little foam football here that I'll be tossing if Raiders mess up. That's like what I use so I don't break shit. But all good, man. All right, guys. Much love. I'm Hardcore Raider. Out. Peace.